And welcome back to another episode of Roll for Story, the Diamond Soul arc. And last session, you guys entered into the crystal cave itself, seeking diamonds abundant. You wandered down a mine, kind of a mine tunnel, and found the Sapphire Realm, where the walls looked like blue gemstones, but you were actually able to push your hands into them. They kind of had the same consistency of jelly, and before long, he was swimming in them, pulling out chunks of them and having it kind of like run through your hands. And then, right at the back of the cave, there was this gigantic waterfall, and it had the same properties as holy water. And as you poked your head through the waterfall, there was a humongous creature on the other side. Its teeth and hide began to glow as they too were made of crystals and gems. And as it began to charge forward, uh, Kesh'an tried to kind of reason with it, but it seemed to only have these base instinctual kind of emotions, and that were it trying to protect its territory and stop thieves from stealing. Um, Andi was mainly the main thief in this dispute, but they laid down a pretty powerful spell that caused the creature to do nothing more than dance on the spot. Did a little bit of capering, and you guys were able to escape. You worked your way back into the main tunnel, and you started to sort of look through the mine carts and see if there was any traces of diamond dust. Sure enough, you found some and kind of deduced that the way you want to go is uh, sort of northwest. So you followed that tunnel and ended up in a cavern full to the brim with these purplish amethysts. Every step that you take in this place was pretty dreadful for your shoes. The diamonds here and any gemstone, in fact, seem to be razor sharp. Not only that, but they seem to be positively charged with some sort of dominant energy, and when actually touched, it releases this positive energy into the creature that's holding it, and knitting together wounds and such. Um, and as you got closer towards a very large throne of gemstones, you sort of made out a shape, a silhouette of a draconic creature, wings outstretched with spiky-looking wings. The horns themselves are made of crystal. You can see its chiseled chin. It's like a massive um, point, like a pickaxe, and it was completely still. And as you tried to slowly and stealthily creep past it, its eyes suddenly shot open with a flash of purple, and it turned around, and you could start to see a dazzling light as crystals floated around it, and you could hear like a hum, a thrum, some sort of tone that was resonating from it, and that resonating draconic speech was understood by, I believe, both Kesh'an and Eirina slash Llewellyn. You were able to sort of begin talking to this creature, and it said that if you wanted to go into the crystal realm beyond, that you would need to prove yourselves. It, being a creature from this realm, has seen many invaders, and they all this. You've said some stuff which it believes is the same stuff that everyone says when they come down here. Oh, we're only coming to take what we need, and that's how it starts. They always come back for more. They only ever come to take from this realm. But you tried to reason with him and convince this dragon otherwise, and so it's asked you to do something in return to prove that you're not just greedy thieves, greedy corporate CEOs, overlords. I mean, uh, no, you're fine. Let's take you to the actual map. Which one was it? Oh, that's right. This one. Okay. All right. So that's right. Eirina, here you go. So it looks you up and down, Eirina, for a moment, seemingly reading your intentions. It looks over the rest of the party as well, and then back to you. Says, "You think you own whatever gems you walk on. These crystals are just dead things you can claim. But I know every quartz and gem and sapphire has a life, has a spirit, has a name. Have you ever heard the sapphire
You know we're gonna get in
sing?"
trouble with Disney for this.
Hey, let me finish.
Is your name Pocahontas by any chance, Big Dragon?
Sing a cold blue tune, or ask the swimming rubies where she swims. Can you sing with all the emeralds in these gardens? Can you paint with all the colors of the gems? Can you paint with all the colors of the gems? No, you can't. That's why I'm going to tell you to do something. You better do it right. Only then will I allow you to pass. You understand? There is an infestation in this realm. A strange, adaptive, mutative kind of creature. It's slithering through these caves, and it is wiping out the native life here. Now, your kind would probably like that. If our kind were wiped out, there'd be nothing left to defend these caves. You could come and take whatever you want. So, to prove that you are not just greedy thieves, you will take out this infestation that threatens us. Last I saw them, they were in the Ruby realm. You may ask why we have not dealt with this ourselves. As I've mentioned, these creatures are able to adapt. They share a sort of hive mind. As such, they are each able to evolve and mutate, even based on one's adaptation. This particular creature has somehow evolved and adapted to this environment. Whereas before, outsiders, they do not linger long before they are crystallized. But this creature has learned to gain an immunity. Its form has turned into like that of a crystal itself. As such, it now shares this evolution with its own hive. I believe that perhaps taking out this one particular creature will undo the others. Its knowledge will be lost. It's difficult to explain, but from fighting them and from what we've observed, it seems that taking out one that is adapted seems to thus break the chain and all their previous evolutions that one had learnt is undone. In any case, seek out this crystal slithering creature, slay it, and then perhaps we will deal with the rest. Or the realm itself will deal with it in time.
All right. We do this. You'll let us have the diamonds to save our friend.
It nods.
Will you have them ready for when we return?
It gestures behind it. The diamond realm will be yours to pilfer.
We don't really need to pilfer it that badly. We just need the amount we need. But we're on a very tight schedule because if we run late, we.
Indeed.
As I've
You
said,
have not
our
much
friend is
time.
running out of time. We need to make sure that everything is ready. We need to make sure that there's nothing else going to stop us from making our time limit.
Then go now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to confirm that we will be allowed straight through with no other hindrances.
Not from my kind, at least.
Mm. All right. I'll turn back to the group. All right, we're going hunting for these giant things.
They were not giant originally. More like snake-like creatures with a single appendage, almost like a hook. But they have since grown larger since they arrived here. And some of them can now fly. Like I said.
The gist of it is weird snake things with hooks. There's an infestation. He'll let us through to the Diamond Realm if we kill the main hive mind thing.
There is likely a queen of sorts that is producing them, but you needn't slay that one. Just the crystalline one. The one that has learned to adapt. It will soon share its immunity with the others. It is not dealt with. And then we will have an invasion on our hands.
Alright, so wipe out the one that's a threat to your realm. The others we don't really care about.
The others, if they stay here too long, they will either adapt, leave, or become petrified. As will you, unless you were to hurry.
Alright, let's get it done, I guess.
Speaking of petrified, you're right if we leave our friends here temporarily and just sort of move Karius and Elias.
Yeah, you want a little tiny...
Yeah, we're like that size, to be fair, so you could just keep us in your pockets.
Oh, okay, in which case you'll go in any of the pockets that I've got, that's fine.
Yeah, they're still the size of miniatures, because...
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
that's how big they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. In which case, never mind, I retract my question. Off we go.
I am leaving their tokens here, though. Anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so... yeah, go ahead. You can move your tokens back through the way you
Apparently
can.
looking for rubies.
You did spot earlier the
I believe.
minecart had ruby dust in it, the one that was kind of going towards the south. However,
Oh no, the big thing.
complications have arose. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, as you come back into this chamber, you see out of the well, retreating, some of them looking pretty injured, battered and bruised,
Oh no.
are the
Wait.
frozen flame goblins. They are looking back down in the well. They turn back and then they see you guys. We held him off as long as we could. The bastard just doesn't die. Have you found the diamonds yet? Are we good to leave?
No, not quite. We gotta kill something first in order to get past something that will kill us if we don't. There's a
Where?
dragon in the way.
Oh, great.
So, in order to not fight the dragon, we have to fight some weird crystal wormy thing that is in
Okay.
the Ruby realm. Head south, quick. Oh, and there's also some big floating thing that comes through. So, just
All right.
head south, I guess.
Oh my god. It's doing the thing again. I swear I fixed this last time. 1 second.
See if I can...
Okay, right, I got it.
There it is.
Whew. So the goblins, as I say, they're pretty battered and bruised, so they're not going to be able to really assist much.
No, I was
in
just thinking,
combat.
just
They are spent in key as well.
Okay. Yuckmug will just quickly dive back into this room and just be like, "We got some allies who are a bit battered up. Can they wait in with you whilst we deal with this thing?" Big dragon guy.
Certainly, yes.
Right, out there, guys.
Okay, I'll send the goblins up there. Meanwhile, as you guys are approaching the mine carts in the Ruby realm,
Me?
I might have dragged you accidentally. Oh, actually, no, you've got Yugmug, haven't you?
Yeah, but Yuckmug wasn't one of them.
No, they're all Yugmug.
Oh.
They are Legion. They are Yugmug. All right. So, right, I'm gonna try and loosely do this with combat, but I'm not gonna have you roll initiative just yet, because fighting this thing is obviously no good. A massive meaty fist grabs a hold of the side of the well. Then you see a maul crunch onto the earth, and two horns rise up out of the well. Moton, the invincible Minotaur, pulls himself up out of the tunnel and looks upon the group, and you see steam exhale from his nostrils. His teeth are gritted, and you see his knuckles go white as he clenches the maul in both hands. He begins to charge towards you. But I'm going to give you guys the turn first, as this thing is obvious in the way it's coming out of the tunnel.
I'm going to try something.
Yep.
I'm going to try something. Luxion says, as he pops out of invisibility and tries to charm it. With charm person.
Okay, charm person.
Minotaurs are classed as humanoids, right? They are a humanoid shape.
No, they count as monstrosities, I think.
They are monstrosities.
No, then he won't. He probably knows better. Luxion is probably smarter than Jamey. That's annoying.
He's just climbing out of the pit now, right?
Yep. He looks like he's about to go for a charge towards the nearest of your allies.
God damn it. That would have been great as well.
He had to sort of squeeze as well, so it was sort of difficult terrain for him. That kind of gave you enough time to react in this moment. Anything anyone else wants to try?
The only thing I can only think one thing.
Does anyone have charm monster?
No, I've got.
Llewellyn does.
Not necessarily an attack. Not an attack. It's technically an attack, but it doesn't do physical damage.
Okay. What do you want to try?
I have 3 doses of Leonardo da Vinci poison. And I have 3 Eldritch Blasts.
Okay, you're gonna have
And
to
I
remind me.
fire the poison at the Minotaur.
You'll have to remind me who Leonardo da Vinci was.
The giant.
The giant scorpion.
The two
The
tails.
purple one.
Yeah,
The
one we.
poison does
The one with the 3.
10 of poison damage.
Okay.
If it had one of the other effects, it was like.
I was gonna say if it had like a paralyzing effect, then maybe. But you know, this poison is just purely damage, and he
So
seems
the
to have
poison
been-
does nothing.
The poison you would probably know that it would do nothing. He's been immune to almost everything that's been thrown at him, except some like status effects, like being stunned, and that's actually it. I think you've seen he's been knocked prone, he's been pushed around, he's been grappled and restrained, but he's never taken any sort of injury or wound on his body. Nothing has injured him. So you could try that at your own risk, but I'll advise you that you're pretty confident that no source of damage is working on this guy. He is, as he said, unbreakable.
Case, I got nothing. I have no spell slots. I've got nothing. I'm out.
I have an idea.
Okay. What's your idea?
Do we hear the sound of the thrumming of that thing coming back?
Roll a perception check. You do. It is. Where was it last time? It was on the left, wasn't it?
Yep.
And it went.
So it sounds like it's coming back. Okay.
Do you let us know that?
Sorry, you guys hid. And it came from the left and went to the right.
Yeah.
So this time it's coming from the right. And you absolutely hear this echoing, humming noise coming from that tunnel.
Yuck Mug is going to say, rush through. I'll try something.
I could cast darkness on us all. And then it only sees one thing in this room.
Yeah, he's going to charge, I think, before it gets there. So you can cast darkness on us on the party. Yuck Mug is going to... I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to charge in.
Alright.
And I'm going for a flurry of blows, but I'm not really going for the damage side of things. This is more to see if it hits.
Just trying to hit him. Okay, go ahead. Roll your attack. Okay, you crit.
Wow.
I want
like out of the gate.
I want a dex save from him.
Dex. Ooh, you sneaky.
Dex?
Yeah,
I can knock him prone, and he's on the edge of a well.
Oh,
no, he's down. He's down.
He's back through.
No.
And
he's
then,
so pissed. Okay. So...
essentially, he's not prone. He's just climbing out of the thing.
Yeah.
So does he fall back into the well?
I'll say sure. You got a crit on this particular occasion. Describe to me how you knock him back.
So basically, I like to think he runs in like he's gonna like swing the thing, and then he just sort of goes actually and just hits him in the kneecap.
Oh, like at an angle. So
yeah.
Like when it goes a really odd angle.
Yeah.
If he
Because
wasn't
obviously, such a heavy thing, it's gonna have a lot of weight on the knee. So if you hit that point,
yeah. And
Like
he's just
that
climbing
so
up
much.
as well. So he's putting weight on that leg, and you kick it out from underneath him. And as he's lifting the maul back, it kind of sets him off balance, and he falls backwards. No, not again.
and then
So this is the second time we've dropped him down a hole.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I'm just thinking, I'm gonna ask for it because I might as well.
Yeah, well.
I didn't even mean it like that. Could I have a con save? I might as well try for the stun.
Might as well, hadn't you? Oh my lord.
Wow.
He falls back down the well and is stunned. You probably bought yourself 2 turns to get past.
And then by the time he gets out, hopefully it will be there. Who problem solved?
Hey, right. Well, that was a good move. Well played, Yuck Mug.
Right. Go.
I guess.
Yeah. Everyone else starts rushing off.
Apparently I don't have vision with Yuck.
No, there should be a lot of light in this.
Because I moved him to the thing and it says I don't have a token with vision on this scene. Does he not have vision? He doesn't have vision on his token. I'm going to put that on.
Yeah,
I just I was confused then. I went through the south and came out in the same map.
Well, you're drunk, so I just imagine you got on a minecart and it's like woo, like cartoony style.
I literally went south and then came out at the corner of the map.
It's kind of crazy.
And most
And you might talk-
importantly, the Minotaur doesn't know which way we went.
I was going to mention that, but yeah, you reminded me. Okay.
Which means if it does defeat the thing, it might go the way that it saw us from. Which means when we get to the dragon, it may be dead.
Something funky's happening. Are you on another map now? Yeah.
I am. Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah.
Alright.
My internet browser is frozen, so I'm not quite there yet.
Well, you better follow it out.
Well,
Okay.
we're in the right room for that. It's ruby. It's probably fiery.
Well, I'll activate the next room. So
I know.
the color of these gems and geodes in this room are red. They look kind of purple, bluish on the map, but just imagine that they are all this bright, fiery scarlet color. The gems themselves create this maze-like structure ahead of you. There's actually a real-world place very much like this, called like the Crystal Cave, and it's this massive chamber where the crystals reach up to the ceiling and sort of create these almost like look like beams. Let's see if I got any art. The actual gemstones themselves, as you kind of look at them, there's this light that plays over them. There's a sort of almost firelight, or like that of dying embers. You know, when you put out a fire and the coals are still sort of got this glowing, dancing light that just sort of ebbs out of them. It's like that. But notably, you don't feel any heat inside this chamber, despite it looking like coals. Fiery, dancing coals.
I think I see one of our targets.
You see it already, huh?
Yeah, there.
How would that be so?
I see two. I see one down here.
Oh yeah, I can see.
Oh,
I can see
vision's
one over
pretty
here as
good.
well.
Vision's pretty good, eh? Huh. So there is movement somewhere deep behind these crystal structures. You can just see something like that of a tail slither past and uncoil itself from a long geode. Actually, yes, I have some art for you. Everything looks like a dagger. Walking in this chamber would be hell. That's going to be difficult to show you the art, isn't it? So you can only see part of it. Let me think for a second. I'll just put it in the chat. That's the easiest thing. And again, there is ample light in this area. Everything kind of gives off that glow, so it's incredibly bright and rich in this color. I'm gonna find the art for this. Where is it?
That is pretty.
There it is. Okay. Here you go. So yes, the ceiling is ripe with these daggers as well. At any point, you feel like one of them could potentially fall from the ceiling and impale you. Hope you've got something to deal with that. But there you go. I'm going to unpause so you can start maneuvering around.
Trying to remember what that is. But oh, I have an idea for this. These are crystalline creatures. Damn it! What's the name of the crystal scorpion with this? There's steel, and what's the other one?
Zybits.
Zybits. I can see some sort of weird crystal-y thing. Can you talk to it? Crystal to crystal. See,
Yeah, they'll a little ringing sound, and they'll say, "I can try."
see if it's friend or foe.
Okay, so they let out a little ringing sound that echoes and resonates off all the other crystals in here as well. And as it rings out, there is again sort of a little bit of movement, something of a shadow, but there's no ringing back. They look back to you guys and they sort of shrug with their little claws. You don't seem to want to talk.
Well, we rang the bell and nobody answered, so
There is some sort of creature in here that's ringing back, but it's at a very low frequency. And they kind of point with their stingers. And you can see a few little beetles on the sides that have they kind of come out of their hiding hole, almost as if to see what that noise was. And you can see little glowing pulses on their hinds. Here, I have a little artwork for them as well. They're cute. They're quite tiny. They're not. They're like even smaller than the scorpions in here. They don't seem to pose much threat. They seem to just be sort of going from crystal to crystal.
do you like those?
Picking up little bits and little fragments, and they seem to add it to their shells.
So that one bit of art in the corner is quite disturbing.
Yeah, we don't worry about that part. Just don't piss them off, yeah? Yeah, one of them actually takes flight, and it flutters its wings and lands on another crystal deeper in the cave.
So there's little buggy things, but they don't look like a problem. What's the? I suppose you and Andi are leading this one. Love by you, wizard. I mean, Kesh'an's here, but he's been uncharismatically quiet.
Yeah. Kesh'an is pretty beaten up.
Cat's got his tongue.
So, which way is Zybits pointing?
Which way do you want to go?
Whichever way this creature went.
They just seem deeper in the cave, but I didn't spot them. They're hiding.
There's one of these crystal bugs here, and there's another one there, but they don't seem to be the problem.
This cavern is very vast.
Probably
I'm not
best
sure
to
which way we're supposed to
stick
go.
together and keep an eye on the ceiling.
Yeah. Here's some more art.
Kesh'an after with me, because I have. Do you want me to move Andi as well, Steph?
This is
Yeah,
what I'm.
computer's struggling enough just with me.
This is what I mean when I said they kind of act like beams going from floor to ceiling.
I don't have permission to make blood, so I can't move them.
But yeah, you're free to explore. Okay.
There, in walls because I'm trying to move multiple people.
Yeah, there are walls.
Yeah.
These crystals pose an obstacle. I'll move the rest of you guys.
Ooh. I think I might see something.
So you do see a tunnel to the east. It seems to lead into a greenish glow.
Yep.
And again, there's more movement, as if something in the recesses of this cavern is stalking you and trying to stay out of sight.
Yeah.
Every now and again, you sort of see this slithering tail crawl away. But Eirina's getting right amongst it.
Yep.
As you go around this, oh my god, I'm pausing you for a second because you're speeding off. As you run around this crystal, something from behind rears back up. And I'm gonna have to say, what's your passive perception? I rolled a 2, don't worry. This thing was clearly not very well hidden. The others might be, though. As you come around this corner, though, you see this creature rear up. Its head is like that of a lance. It doesn't seem to have any kind of facial features, no eyes, no nose. It's just this long, sharp, pointed appendage. Reflecting that is another appendage that's sort of almost like a chicken wing that's like tucked up underneath its head, and that begins to extend, and at the very end of the arm you see this scythe-like hand or claw, and it reaches forward and lunges towards you as the rest of its tail was kind of coiled up, and it springs out from the top of the crystal and goes straight towards you. And I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative. And we will take you where you are. The others are on the turn order 2.
I'll roll for Kesh'an.
They are hidden, but they're not going to get a surprise around because you kind of know that they're there. They're just secret. Wow, you rolled a 21. Guess you're going first. So, how do you want to react? This thing is lunging from the top of this crystal towards you. Here, I'll give you some art of basically what you're dealing with. This alien-like creature, you've never seen something with just a single limb. Here you go.
Ooh.
That's what you're kind of dealing with. It's almost snake-like, but completely alien to you.
Okay. Ignoring the whole like I'm Lavellan vibe, like I imagine in that sort of instinct it's almost like a subconscious reaction moment because this thing has jumped at me.
Yeah.
So I'm because I don't have Lavellan's spell sheet up and I don't want to spend hours looking through it, find something suitable.
So it's almost like auto reactions.
Yeah, that's the way I'm going to play it, just because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here like, what has Lavellan got that I can make it?
You don't want to look for 80 spells?
No, I really don't. So let's go for bloody computer.
Is it frozen again?
Yeah.
You haven't got any spell slots anyway, so.
No, but I can Hexblade's curse it.
Okay.
And I also have cantrips. So.
Sure.
But my computer is frozen again. So I can't actually click anything. So I'm going to Hexblade's curse. And I'm just literally going to Eldritch Blast / Firebolt it. But if one of you could please roll for me because my screen is frozen.
Yeah, so I've got that up. So is anything set up for the Hexblade curse? Does that need to be rolled?
You can click it just so that it's in the chat.
Yeah.
So everybody knows what it does, but you don't need to click anything for it.
Okay, hopefully that's in the chat. And
So you crit
then
19 20 now.
And I am exhausted, so my shots are with disadvantage.
No, that's skill checks.
yeah, it's only skill checks. It's
Then just flat.
Is it 2 levels of exhaustion for attack rolls? Was it
I don't
3?
No,
remember.
that's half
Okay.
movement speed. It's 3. Let's don't worry about it
Yeah.
for now. Um,
So it's 3
Oh.
shots.
Second one misses.
Okay.
Third one,
Ooh,
a little bad.
miss.
one hit, 2
Okay.
misses.
That is unfortunate, but you do get bonus damage
Yeah.
to the target,
Which
equal to your
is-
proficiency
It's an
bonus.
extra 5, so that's 14 damage then, I guess.
Yep. Okay. Fine.
And obviously, I
Uh,
do have the type of Hexblade's Curse where if it's a certain number, it rounds to obviously crit damage. But
Yeah. Did you get a 19 on that 22? No, you didn't. Okay. Yeah, some poor rolls. It just seems like you, as you said, instinctually turn around just and blast in that direction, trying to ward it off, perhaps. But yeah, it is about ready to puncture you with this long scythe-like appendage. So Yakma gets a go, and Raheem.
Lokshun
Let's
would go
see.
before me, and
Okay,
Lokshun's here.
so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move Raheem up. Hearing the sounds of these blasts, gets up to about here. Looks down, sees the actual creature coming, and will probably. Let's see. You can throw a dagger at it.
Better than nothing.
I think he's gonna hold his. I think he'll hold his action to throw a dagger at it. That'll be Raheem's go. Waiting for the opportune moment, as usual.
So, Lokshun. Yes?
Not yet. There are
There's
hidden
one.
creatures. Yes,
No.
indeed. I'm afraid. I'm gonna roll stealth for these, so I didn't do it earlier. Yep, this one's pretty hidden. Okay. I'm gonna aim at the villain.
That matches the passive for Yokmug and Kesh'an, just in case that helps.
Okay. He's about to be revealed anyway.
And is massively beaten by Andi's passive.
Of course. So Andi and Yugmug, you kind of hear this flapping on the wind, but look, it seems like Eirina is too distracted by this creature that's ambushing her from behind to notice what's coming from the front of the cave. Another creature slithering from the ceiling drops and then spreads, like it almost like has these flaps of skin that sort of extend out into wings, and it too has this single dagger-like appendage that is coming down, but instead of coming to stab them, they sort of fire it from where they are, almost like it's this barb that is able to be launched like a missile, and it goes straight towards Eirina. So we'll make the claw. It misses. Oh wait, I have advantage because I'm hidden technique. Yay, I hit. Okay. You feel this stabbing pain, Eirina, as you look around, see over your shoulder this creature that is flying towards you. But that's going to be its go. And we'll go to. Oh wait, it's got multi attack. Got to do it again. Second attack. Oh, okay. Fortunately, another one seems to regrow instantly as soon as it's fired. The barb sort of like grows out and it's sort of fresh and shiny looking. And that one fires as well, but you're able to dodge out of that. Okay, the turn goes to Lokshun.
So Lokshun is going to move the in front of this guy who's about to charge Llewellyn,
Yeah,
Eirina,
like coiled up and just about to lunge out.
and is going to swing his glaive around,
Okay.
which will then break him out of his invisibility. Oh, that missed. Wow, these guys have a high.
Okay, right.
They-
The thing you see, it looks like you'd be able to hit it. There's sudden sheen over its body, and you see its form harden to that like of diamond. And as your glaive strikes into it, you hear the glaive like chip against it. That one will hit though.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, he basically twirls his glaive around to get into the path of the thing charging. Basically,
Okay.
yeah, turns it
Nice.
into a barrier.
Nice damage roll though.
Yeah, that was pretty solid.
And just takes a stand. Well, I say stance. He's not actually touching the ground, but a guard
Okay.
in front of the villain.
Got it. After the hit, and you pull the glaive away, it does look like a section of its flesh was way easier to cut than the other. It's almost as if that diamond skin was only there momentarily, like an instance of adapting, but then gone, almost like a chameleon changing colors. But as it shifted back, you were able to go in for that second strike and decent chop into its form, kind of like hanging loose. That's your go, yeah?
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
I can do
bug.
any bonus action stuff.
Right, so gonna have Yokmog.
This thing is up in the air.
How
so I
high
should
up
put it-
in the air?
I'm gonna say like at least 15 feet. Oops.
Okay, let me before I make my move. Then if it's that high up,
Yeah.
this is 10. Okay, I've got 10 foot of movement. There's a crystalline wall there. Let's have fun. Here, run up the wall. Typical monk
Yeah.
stuff. And basically leap at it, and while swinging the thundering meteor hammer straight at it.
All right.
So
Seen that somewhere, that picture.
yeah,
You've seen it,
Yeah.
have you?
I don't know where from. Probably Magic
Mm.
the Gathering, but
It might be.
okay,
These are from that universe.
hit.
Let's see. 25. Whoosh. Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Yep.
Solid.
Then as they come down, swing again.
Another 25. Nice.
I'm not gonna flurry of blows, but I will just have the unarmed strike as the final. That misses.
Business.
And then he
Okay.
sort of just drops down, basically
All right.
spinning his weapon about. Basically, you're fighting me, sort of deal.
All right. The next creature to appear out of the darkness. Yes, this one. Unfortunately, can't get in range to do anything, but it is going to make its presence known. This creature that comes around the back of the group, it sort of slithers around, trying to find a flank, and as it does, you see its form. You hear this kind of cracking of bone, and like the ripping of flesh. And as this creature slithers around, you see its form begin to grow, and to a large form. This one's flesh looks like it's been rotted away as well. Like it's clearly like blacker than the others, but some of its skin seems to be like patchy. Its claw seems to be kind of bent at an odd angle, but nonetheless, it begins to grow in size and enlarges itself to that form there. Okay. Finally, we have the actual Lancer, who was going to go for the villain originally, but now you kind of jumped in the way on the rocking horse, no doubt. It is going to instead lunge for you, Lokshun.
I don't have rocking horse. I just fly
You now. Okay.
because I'm I'm
Lokshun. All right.
I'm not Elias anymore, sadly.
That's a shame. I miss. The claw stabs forward, but then its head kind of rears back and then pecks towards you.
Assume he just does dope glaive stuff and just taps its beak out the way.
Not good rolls.
And then taps its beak
Terrible rolls.
out the way again.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Like,
not very
no,
good this one.
no.
Oh, and I should mention there's something quite revolting that happens where you chopped it, like in the side, and it's kind of hanging loose slightly. Something seems to be emerging from that wound, and you see a long spike beginning to extend out, and you see it suddenly turns and looks at you, and it has grown a second head out of where you chopped it. So that's a thing as well. What else do I need to do? Okay, and it recovers as well. The wound that was quite chopped up is also slightly knitted together, almost like it's grown that head and then closed up the wound around it as well. And you can see the actual flesh knitting together.
Fully healed, but somewhat healed.
Not fully healed, yeah, but it's still got that kind of scar tissue around it. But it's clearly regenerating, and that's the thing you got to deal with as well. They're full of surprises, these creatures. Still over in the back here. Does see this sliver. I guess we'll just launch a ultrasonic tone against it. Why not? I can place my token. Hey, there we go. That might do something. Nope, not really. You do see still launches a supersonic wave at this creature. It's just a really high-pitched pulse that shoots forward, and you see several of the crystals on its path crack and shatter into pieces. The actual creature that sees it doesn't see it coming, but definitely hears it, sort of shudders at the sound. But that's going to be it. You can go on to Kesh'an. Kesh'an, are you with us? No, he's not. All
He's
right,
on his
in that
way home.
case, he's on
He's-
his way.
He's
We
listening in.
will, we will have to get down and dirty with Kesh'an then for now.
Yeah, I was gonna say just have him either run and bash that one, I guess.
I think that's the best course of action as well. He does have to do a bit of climbing up here.
Yeah.
And there's something else I remember now. So if you move at normal pace in here, you're taking that piercing damage from stepping on everything. If you treat it like difficult terrain and you go cautiously and slowly, then you can avoid that. Kesh'an has enough movement to get up to here, even with being half speed, so he can do that. But just to note for everyone else, if you move at normal speed, you're taking piercing damage for every 5 foot you're moving. It's not nice. It's like everything's covered in spike growth. Treat it like that. Flurry of blows, I guess. Or well, we'll see how we get with the.
I mean, he wouldn't
Item
actually technically need to even do the. Yeah, he probably would go there for that. I was gonna say.
Okay. Has that done the right damage?
Looks like the right damage.
Yeah, no, you can't see the damage. The ice and fire wheels as he's cutting towards this creature. You see that the skin sort of hardens slightly as he's trying to slice through it. The fire and the ice do seem to do a decent chunk of damage, but it's almost like the actual chopping motion is kind of halted. He doesn't get to cut all the way through. It kind of just embeds it like he's hitting into a trunk of a tree, and he has to pull the wheel out and then go for a second strike, which hits pretty heftily as well. You can go for a third attack. He's got 3. 16, however, misses. The diamond skin reacts in time, and his blade just bounces off of it. I think we'll leave it at that for now. rather than go too crazy.
I mean, doesn't he get 1 free unarmed strike as a bonus action, even if he doesn't flurry of blows?
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I didn't realize the item fireballs counted as unarmed strikes.
Yeah, I've done 3 attacks, so
Yep.
okay. He can do more, but I think we'll save his key for if he wants to do that himself. He's only got 4 left, so he might be saving it. All right, back of the group, this Golgar goes forward to deal with this this kind of rotting creature at the back. Let's see. It's a hit. Is it a hit by 21? It is. I'm going to parry that. So not everyone sees this, but the back of the group does. The creature is able to react and brings up its single appendage and actually kind of does like a martial move and catches the warhammer and spins it round and flicks it away. Almost like it's been training. The 22 hits very solid and gets some work done. That's it, I think. Okay, yeah, Zybits. You got lots of friends here at the back. It too is going to let out a ultrasonic tone. All right. Vishtar, of course, we have a pit fiend on your side as well.
That's why it's important to write elaborate backstories, kids.
Sure.
One day you may have a pit fiend on your side.
You might need a pit fiend on your side, yeah, sure. Crushed into the dirt with this massive mace that reeks of brimstone and fire, just cracks the thing's neck into the ground, and of course he's got a multi-attack. I'm going to stop there. He's got 4 attacks. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. The creature is utterly mutilated, and Vishtar looks down at it like, "Is that it? This creature was already half dead. I feel like we've just put it out of its misery. Anyway, that'll be me. Moving on. Shiny sliver. Yay. Here's the shiny one. Okay, this shiny one. This one was hidden, but Andy, you saw it coming. A creature that's been scuttling or pulling itself along this crystal behind you, gets up to a vantage point, looks down, and its head cracks open, and you see acid spew forth and rains down. And I'm going to go for... Can I hit both of you with this? It's a 30-foot line, yeah.
Would
Okay.
it have come out? Would that have triggered Raheem's held attack?
Yeah, it would have. He was actually aiming for the other one, but I'm going to have it go now. So Raheem was holding a dagger, and he throws it towards the lancer, which hits.
Which would
think-
sneak attack?
That's what he was waiting for. Boom. Sniped. Okay, so this liver appears to be dead as it's shot straight through the head with a dagger, collapses to the ground, and sort of coils up for a moment. The acid. Did you guys roll a dex save? Yes, you did. So 12 is a fail, I'm afraid. So you take 10 points of acid damage. And Raheem, did he roll a dex?
I don't know, because none of us have
Doesn't look
control of him as far as I'm aware.
No, I was wondering if it did it automatically, but I think because he's a player character, he doesn't roll it. 17 to pass though, and with evasion, he easily ducks out. He's like, "Oh, watch out, Andi, acid!" And he dives out of the way. And I'm afraid because he dodged it, you just take the full brunt of it, and it starts to burn away your leather armor. That's its go. That's
She
all it can
gives him
do.
a look that's more acidic than the acid.
What?
She's just
You
like,
wanted
gee,
me,
thanks.
you wanted me to put my face in the way of it?
Where's your fatherly instinct on your daughter? Shouldn't you stop me from getting hurt?
I mean, I will kill it. That will be my instinct. Or you can. You know what? Take your go. He just lets you have your turn. You kill
Yeah,
it.
well, I wasn't gonna use her turn to attack anything. I was gonna use it to heal Kesh'an, so
Sure thing.
He's here,
yeah.
and you're there. But you'd have to use your dash as well.
I
don't know, what are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Your sheet's not open because it froze.
I know.
What kind of healing are you gonna do?
Hang on, she's trying to get her sheet up.
Right. But yeah, I will make my way over to Kesh'an. He's down here, isn't he?
Yeah.
And basically hug him round the waist and give him cure wounds.
All
Because
right.
of course it's a touch spell, so of course she's just like, okay, have a hug. A
Yes.
healing hug.
Healing hug sounds good.
And I'm gonna do it at quite a high level.
We all need a healing hug from time to time.
There we go.
26. Wow, you went all out on that one. Right?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
he's pretty low, so
He is.
he's our
Alright,
heavy hitter.
Kesh'an feels revitalized. That's good to know. Alright. Anything else on your turn?
Not really.
Okay, cool. Quilled Sliver. He's been hiding as well. Kinda gonna go for the back, I feel. Yeah, why not? So, seeing one of its comrades die in the back line, it is dropping down from the ceiling. Actually, not dropping down, it's on the ceiling. And this one looks like a porcupine. It's got these large spiky spines. They look kind of crystalline as well. And it kind of hunches up its back. All its hackles begin to flick up, and then he shoots these barbs out of it. And they rain down on the Golga. I'm going to just use the claw for this, but with advantage. The Golga takes some damage, a bit of piercing there. And I'm going to have him make a con save. Probably going to pass. Oh, natural one, Rolf. Okay. The Golgar like screams in agony, like, "What was that?" Ah! Pulls out the spine, and you can see there's something dripping, like a blackish ichor. And you see the eyes roll back in the skull for a moment on the Golgar, and he falls down. He's poisoned, and whilst poisoned in this fashion, he's unconscious.
At least there's two of them.
Damn thing got me. Thud. Okay, it is the second one. Hey, it's up there! And it will fire its mighty longbow towards it. Natural one. It fires back, but the arrow just shatters against the diamond skin. The second one would hit, but it brings up its appendage and swats the arrow away and parries it.
This is where Yuckmonk is particularly effective because his thing can't be parried.
True. Lost to Earth cowers, and that's going to be the end of the round. Back to the top. Okay, Eirina, your turn.
Okay, I can see. No, that's Yuckmug.
There is one by Yuckmonk, it's this one.
Yeah, you can see two from your vantage point.
I don't see one near Yuckmug.
One is flying above Yuckmug, flapping these kind of leathery wings, and one above you is spewing down acid on Raheem and Andi.
Okay. So I believe I can use. I can't remember if it's a bonus action or an action to transfer the curse over. Double check.
As far as I was aware, Hexblade's curse can't be
No, it
moved.
can when you get to a certain level, I think.
If
Because
the
I
curse
have Master of
creature
Hexes,
dies,
so I can spread my Hexblade's curse from a slain creature to another creature. When the creature cursed by your Hexblade curse dies, you can apply the curse to a different creature you can see within 30 feet of you, provided you aren't incapacitated.
nice. That's a good invocation. Okay, cool. So you can switch it, and you would have also gained some temporary hit points. Do you want to roll that?
But do I still get the hit points if I'm not the one who killed it? I'm
It says
sure it's
if
I
the
have to
cursed
kill
creature-
it.
It says if the cursed creature dies, you regain hit points equal to your warlock level plus your charisma.
Okay, in that case, excellent, because I was miffed because they keep killing it before I can actually get those hit points.
You gain 19 hit points.
Also,
Yes.
Seems pretty good.
I also
Your
have a
backup?
cursed spectre.
Do you now? Cursed Spectre.
For that.
So
Starting
starting
at
at
this
6th level, you can curse the soul of a person you slay, temporarily binding it into your service.
When you slay a human. Okay.
Oh, but it's humanoid.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, the important thing to note here is as you're trying to perhaps shape a spectre out of its form, you don't feel as though its soul has yet left its body. That's the kind of feeling you get as you're like manipulating its essence. It hasn't left. It's still firmly in there.
But it doesn't say that transferring my Hexblade's curse is an action or anything, so I assume it just happened?
Yeah, it just says you do it.
No,
when
it
dies.
doesn't cost an action. It doesn't cost you anything. Normal hex, the spell hex would, but your feature from your class does not. So you can just
Well,
tell me which
Hexblade's
one
curse
you-
itself is a bonus action, so...
Your
But it
Okay,
doesn't
well, you-
say anything on this one.
Yeah.
So I imagine it just transfers. I pick
you
a
apply
target
the
and it just
curse to
goes.
different creatures you see within 30 feet. Yeah, as long as it's within 30 feet, you can just curse it.
Cool, I'm transferring that over to there, and I'm going to set off another 3 shots. Hopefully these ones roll. Let's target you. Number
Oh,
1.
it does say at the very end, when you apply the curse in this way, you don't
Yeah, I
regain
don't get the
curse
hit
in-
points back, I know.
Okay. So okay. You're fine to do that though? You still want to curse it?
Yep.
Alright, I'll take away the 19 HP then. So you're going for the shiny one at the top there. That 23 hit. 14 and misses, 29 hits. You get 2 marks on this guy as you begin to burn its soul. Now, a creature does turn and tries to maneuver its spike in a fashion to like parry it, but you can't parry an Eldritch Blast, so it just kind of shoots the thing and it like wobbles back.
Does the bonus damage only count for one of the shots?
Oh, you crit by the way with that last Eldritch Blast.
Yes, you did. It's 19.
So roll another D10 as well.
But yeah, the
No, it's on
because I get
every
the bonus
hit.
damage equal to my proficiency. So is that every hit or just one of the hits for Eldritch
It
Blast?
says
It
whenever you
says-
roll damage.
Oh, baby, that's pretty good.
So that's an extra 15 damage.
Yikes.
Yeah, because obviously one was a crit, wasn't it?
Oh no, an extra 10 damage, sorry, because that doesn't double because it's not a dice roll.
Oh,
Yeah.
in which case, there you go. So
Next
it's
to
10. 'Cause
10.
I wondered why you said 15, and I was like, does that?
Yeah.
Decent
For
damage.
some reason, I thought he hit all 3.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you've definitely injured this thing. The blasts, which burn its form. Well, they don't burn it quite yet. It's the force damage technically, but you do see its soul has been ignited. One more hit, this thing will burst.
And the
Alright.
last thing I'm going to do is get it out of the air. I'm going to pull it 10 foot towards me.
Oh, okay, sure. Yep.
Because then Kesh'an can get to it faster.
You pull it off the little crystal spire that it was sort of hovering on. As you pull it off, you see its wings sprout out, and it sort of glides down and lands on the ground. Speaking of wings, oh, did you want to? Are you moving anywhere? Or are you staying where you are?
I'm going to stay where I am.
Okay, all right. The cloud shredder is on Yakmug. Okay, Yakmug. You haven't got all your HP.
Nope.
Perfect. It seems to frenzy at the sight of the blood covering Yakmug, and its claws and bite seem to be far more ferocious. It's rolling with advantage.
This, because it's at a distance, this is like a fired off attack, right? So
It's coming down.
Okay.
It comes right into your space, does this frenzy of biting and slashing towards you, and then immediately flaps its wings with a gust and pushes itself away from you, back up into the air another 15 feet,
Okay.
and doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
How you looking, Yakmug? Oh
11
god,
HP.
11. Okay. After that, the attacks that you've whacked onto this creature, you see where you'd kind of
Yep.
previously maybe slammed into it, its bruise suddenly heals up, and it's restoring that HP.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, Raheem, he's got a couple of targets. He's gonna carefully maneuver past the daggers on the floor, aim at the one that is in the air. Oh wait, it's not got. Might have to hold his attack again. Or I might hide. That's another option to do. Okay, Raheem is gonna sneakily duck down behind the crystal here and attempt to hide. Needs that advantage. Oh, yeah. He's got the minimum, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. I like that. Raheem does accidentally step on a dagger, and it's like, ow! But his reliable talent means he kind of uses that to his advantage, and he uses ventriloquism to make it sound like his voice was coming from another angle. The creature turns, and in that moment, he throws a dagger towards him. Let's go for the shiny sliver, I think. Yeah. Oh my lord.
That's gonna
Oh,
hurt.
we have crit him.
With the sneak attack.
With a sneak, that's gonna be so much damage.
Yeah, I'm ready for this sneak attack. Oh,
21
double.
plus 29.
Oh,
50 damage. Oh my god, that
16
actually
damage
kills it.
altogether.
Yeah, that kills it.
One shot, one kill.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna have to go collect that again. But I'm not moving anymore, it's very painful. Go one for Raheem. Vengeance is ours. Kesh'an. Where am I? Oh, there you are. Kesh'an.
So he is going to fly up right into his face because
Okay.
I'm technically 0.4 feet away from him. I got a Pythag
All right, sure.
calculator up.
I'll trust you.
And he has a reach weapon anyway, so. And he's just gonna do a quick 30-foot dash slash, and hope for the best.
20 would hit. I'm gonna parry it, and
And goes in for his second one, but that misses, I'm guessing.
That one is also a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He is unharmed, uninjured, as it swoops and ducks and dives out of the way of the glaive's swinging motions.
The reason it's taking half damage, is it because it's not from magical weapons, or is it?
It seems to have a natural resistance. This particular creature adapts to the weapons that you're kind of wielding, and every time you like chop into it, it's like its form hardens at the moment the blow hits, and there's this kind of sheen, this metallic sheen that shines over it as that happens.
Okay. I was just checking because the Oni's weapon is magical.
Yes, they are magical weapons. It doesn't seem to be differentiating between non-magical and magical, because the dagger that Raheem threw is also non-magical. It just seems to be resistant to slashing, piercing, bludgeoning.
Of any
Flat.
kind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But don't worry, this fight might get easier in a minute, because you're doing quite a lot of work. Yuckmug, you're up.
Alright, so once again, Yuckmug's gonna run up the wall. Because that's probably, you know, monks, why not?
Yep. Monk stuff, yep.
Yep. Bring down.
Oh, yeah, that one he cannot parry.
And part of it, and he can't parry it anyway. Can't parry this weapon.
No, that's very true. Your weapon swings round. It basically is like a bowler, and the massive weight on the end, it catches onto the limb and swings and cracks into its head.
Crit on 19s. I keep rolling 19s.
That is a lot of 19s.
That's two 19s in a row.
That is.
Right, now, decision. Because of their ability, these seem like these would be pretty good at con. Is the sort of feeling I get, so... But I'm gonna try it anyway because monk. Con save.
Yeah. Alright. Rolling.
Wow,
You were correct. These creatures seem to be able to adapt on the fly, and their alien-like anatomy means that you're not sure where the pressure points on this creature really are.
Okay, then he'll just follow that up with an unarmed strike, I guess.
Realize that should be an advantage, but yeah, don't worry. Yeah, go for it. Still a pass either way. Oh, yep. That's a hit.
And
Still, it feels again like every blow is like hammering on a shield, and you're more like buckling its face in rather than just cracking it open.
And I'm gonna add an extra 13 damage to that. Fury of the Small. Because it's one size larger.
Yeah, you're a goblin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that counts.
Fury of the Small.
Nice.
Which I forgot about last turn.
Yeah, that's cool. You can do it a couple of times per long rest, I think. All
yeah,
right,
you can't use it until you finish a short or long rest, so I did it this time and did some hefty damage.
Okay. Don't you skip over me. Got some healing to do. So Vishtar says aloud, I think I've realized why it was rotting. This thing's some kind of zombie. And you hear the cracking of bone of this creature that was previously mutilated by the maul of a pit lord suddenly rise back up, reconnect its limbs, and goes to strike at... Let's see. Is Vishtar even worth attacking? You know what? It's going to take flight. Wings sprout out of it. Flies over to here and attacks the other Golgar. And this one hasn't got all of its hit points. It has advantage. Yeah.
Would it know whether it's worth attacking Vishtar?
Yeah, because its blood frenzy means it wants to attack creatures that are not at full hit points. So Vishtar hasn't really taken any wounds. So it goes for the Golgar that took that wound earlier, and it just
Actually.
rips into him and claws him.
You know, I should have done that. That would have made sense, but I didn't think of it on my turn. Because Yuckmug would have had to run 15 feet up the wall. He would have had movement to be able to move back, but I didn't think of it at the time. It's fine.
Enough movement without getting stabbed. 'Cause
Uh,
running up the wall is like running up a field of daggers.
well, running up the wall would have if it was difficult terrain, would have taken 30 feet of his movement.
Yeah.
It's because it's 15 foot up. He still has 20 foot of movement after that. Because,
Okay. Yeah.
but I didn't think of it at the time.
All right.
But just reminded myself for next time.
Yeah.
Assuming I survive next time.
The creature that was previously stabbed in the head with a dagger, Raheem removed it and threw it at the other one, and now that wound suddenly closes up. It rises up, cracks its neck, and both of its heads, in fact, and looks towards Raheem. Actually, no, because it's full of health. We'll go for either Andi or Kesh'an here. Let's see. Yeah, odds are even. Odds are Andi. Yeah, let's go for you. Okay. So from the grave, this thing just suddenly rears back up and then strikes towards you, Andi. The first hit for 8 piercing damage. And then 2 1s. And it seems the other head is still like a bit limp and just sort of slaps into the crystal. Does nothing. But that is its go. Still. What the? These things won't stay down. I'll try to pulse it again. See if that works. Lining it up. Another ultrasonic pulse echoes into this room, into this chamber, destroying crystals in its path. Okay, Kesh'an. Still not here yet? No.
Guess he'll just have to beat this one into the ground again.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go for it.
Oh, chunk is
Did it not fail that save? Yeah, it didn't make any damage.
23.
Okay, that hits.
Okay. Is it still up?
No, it is not. And most importantly, the fire from the ice and fire wheels seems to cauterize the wound where it like chops off its head, and you see the actual skin tries to knit itself together, but seems like the fire has burnt the wound enough that it's not able to regenerate.
Okay. Right, I'm just considering the most Kesh'an thing to do in this situation. So he hasn't used it, so he's got the feline agility, so he can move 100 feet. Let's do that first. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 5, 40. Then he could run up here like Yuckmug did, which would be 30 feet of movement, which would still be 70 feet, so he's still got the movement, so I can now hit this one and he gets 2 more attacks with the ice and fire wheel. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Ouch. Yeah, that's gonna shred it.
Is it?
It's one of its wings is chopped off and it almost goes into a spin, trying to keep itself aloft, but it looks like it's gonna go down.
Then... that
Ah,
one
but the last hit just goes wide as its unpredictable movement sort of lends itself to evading that attack.
Can he... I don't know how many key points he has. Where does he keep track of that? Can he
4
spend-
left.
Can he spend a key point to do an extra attack because of the flurry of blows?
If he wants to flurry, yeah, he can. He'll get 2 extra attacks if he does that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, might as well try to finish this thing off
Sorry.
because
Well, actually, because you're supposed to really dedicate. You're supposed
yeah,
to 1, 2, 3.
that's
Actually, no, you can still do it. You can still do it.
yeah. So, just for understanding until Cam gets here, on his turn, and also I don't know if this counts for Yuckmug, he can do 3 attacks and then a flurry of blows. So 5 attacks in total.
Kesh'an can because he's dual wielding.
Oh, it's the dual wielding thing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what I wasn't getting. Okay.
That's all right.
Okay, so wait, but then doesn't the dual wielding then take your bonus action to do the extra attack? So
No,
Okay.
we're
Okay,
gonna rule it.
okay,
It
so
does.
that missed,
not.
and then it's 1 more, right?
Yeah.
Actually, should that be with unarmed?
They should be. Yeah, technically. You're right.
So,
It's still the same to hit. I think. Oh no, it's got +2 on it.
So it'd be a 23, which I think still
That's
hits.
still a
me.
hit. Yeah, that's
And the
you can
dam-
roll 3d5.
Yeah, 3d4 plus 5.
That's the one. 14. Okay.
Yep.
It's still going. So the smaller hits are resisted, unfortunately.
Yeah, but that's fine.
Oops. Keep clicking my other macros. All right, but nice. Doesn't look long for the world.
And then Kesh'an will drop down, of course.
All right, this Golgar's unconscious, unfortunately. Zybits is up. He's going to target this thing with another ultrasonic blast. Just try to fire again, shattering the thing. Does he get enough damage? No, nat 20s. It's holding on. And then it's back to Vishtar. Peculiar. Normally, things stay down after this mace comes into contact with them. In fact, let's try this. And he wreaths the mace in fire, and you see its flaming head come straight towards the sliver. Should have done this last time. Crack, and you hear this fiery explosion from the back of the cave as he crunches this sliver into the ground. Get back up from that! Why don't you? The shiny sliver does. He does get back up. Restores 10 hit points and immediately looks towards perhaps Andi or Rahim. No, it's going to jump down. Why not? And it goes for a ferocious, rending attack on Andi. Seems to like go for where your wounds already are, where you're bleeding, and it just strikes into them for a nasty amount of damage. That's its go. And then we're going to go to Andy's go. I'm going to be right back real quick.
Okay. Oh. My only problem with this fight is we seem to be doing pretty well for what everything's going. But I don't know if any of these are the one we're actually meant to be killing.
Yeah, I don't think this is the boss one we're supposed to fight.
Well,
No,
they
I don't think it
didn't
is either.
specifically say it was a boss one. They said it was one that had adapted and they didn't want that to spread.
He said
Yeah.
it was crystalline.
Yeah, which the only one I could think of was this one because he keeps describing it as shiny.
Like
Yeah,
a shiny Pokemon.
means metallic in my brain, but
Yeah. But this one turns like a diamondy sort of thing, so...
yeah. I don't know. All we can do is just keep going, I guess.
Yeah.
I personally think we haven't encountered it.
No, I don't
It's
think we
further
have
away.
either, because he hasn't done his right. And then go into the explanation.
Yeah.
Is that how you see it? Like he goes, right.
That's what he does though. When something major happens, he goes, okay, and then he pauses everything, and then he goes into like this long.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if he's actually hearing this, but we'll see if it happens.
Yeah. And the thing is, all we were told was the last time it was seen was in the Ruby Room. Doesn't mean it's still in the Ruby Room.
That would suck. I do kind of want to get through this
Yes.
to the conclusion.
Is this?
Yeah, so I mean, I was hoping this was the conclusion, but looking at the time, it's probably not.
Because there's still this south tunnel and this tunnel as well.
That tunnel up there goes to a green room,
Yeah.
so that's more emeralds. So I'm imagining it's the one down south. Because if this is where they're all coming from,
Yeah.
All right.
It just feels
I'm
like
back.
it's going on too long, this whole thing. I just want to get to the diamonds and go.
Too late. Too bad. Got more friends for you.
I don't want to play an NPC anymore.
So, from the sounds of it, you said something like, "It's going too well." Is that what I heard?
No, I said it's going well, or seems
Yeah?
to be going well, but
We don't think this is the one
we
we're
don't
any of the
think
ones we're after.
we're not sure if any of these are even the one we're after. Because we weren't told a huge amount other than it was crystalline and it adapted. And one of these did go sort of diamondy, and one you keep describing as
moment.
shiny.
One of
But-
them is shiny and it looks metallic. Yeah, not
Yeah.
crystalline, but like metallic.
Okay.
I'll give you the artwork for it, and you can see for yourself what you're dealing with. But
It's,
sorry about that. I had to be right back. I am gonna ask Andy what they want to do on their turn. Have you? Here we go.
I think what I am going to do is seeing old Father Dearest doesn't seem to be being much help right now. Her hood's going up and she's disappearing.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah. Don't blame me when faced with a.
she's a really low health right now, so she's just like,
It's-
okay, I'm out of here for a moment.
It's
Hold
a
up.
cam.
Welcome.
Hello, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll chat
Good.
after. But
No worries. So,
Okay.
Andy, you're able to whisk yourself away instantly. So, that creature almost kind of swipes at the space where you once were, almost confused, and it almost looks at it, tilts its head to one side, and its long tail comes up next to it and sort of feels the air where you were. That's it. That's all it'll do. The quilt sliver. I know what I want to do. Tab some things. It fires down from its vantage point. Actually, no, it's just going to launch itself down onto its head. Oh, should be advantage. Okay. That's better. Okay, get that done. Alright, it's Golgar. Brings around its Warhammer, rather. Takes a crack at this thing. Misses. Takes a second swing. That hit. And you see a ton of spines kind of spill out onto the ground. Okay, lost to earth again, still cowering. But whilst he is out in the back, he does call out and says, "There are more coming from the Green Cave. They seem to have been alerted from likely the sounds of battle, perhaps? Didn't they say they had a hive mind?" It is Llewellyn's go. Eirina.
Yeah, I mean, if this one has got back up, I'm
Yeah.
raining down hellfire.
Alright. Go for it.
So, question: it died. Is my curse still on it because it's alive?
It did not. It died, but then came back. So you can move it if you wanted, or you can restore hit points. But if you didn't do
No.
either of those things, it's just still on it.
Cool, that's fine. I do have a question though, just to clarify, because I've never reached the point where I've been able to transfer, because Kesh'an or Karius usually get there and kill the thing before it can be transferred. It says, where is it? Where is it? At the bottom it says, where is it? Oh, I thought it said something at the end. I thought there was a caveat. Never mind, ignore me. That's fine. I'm just gonna fire off my Eldritch Blast. It's good to know that it's still cursed. So, number 1.
Yep.
Number 2.
Hits it, and at this point it explodes, of course, so you can roll 2d6 fire damage. And we'll see. 6, that is enough to ignite its soul and blast it from the inside, and bits of guts. This thing was very armored and shiny, like I mentioned. It's almost like every hit was just sort of clanging against it, but its fuse has fully run out, and from inside its soul erupts. You see its parts just clang to the floor with heavy thuds, almost like it's just dropped a load of swords on the ground. And it's not getting back up from this either. Doesn't look like any of the wounds are knitting together, because that's fire damage, and it doesn't seem to regenerate from it.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I do have one more shot, so I'm gonna literally fling my arm in the opposite direction and take a shot at the other one that's behind me. Remind me again, how do I untarget?
Double right click.
Okay, and then there we go. So, oh no, I accidentally targeted Young Monk.
Unfortunate. I'll undo that. Okay. So would it be?
Is the creature on top of him? Is that?
No, it's here.
Yeah, I literally, there's no token there.
Oh. I don't know why that is.
All the other tokens are there. This one is just invisible to me. There's nothing here.
Okay.
There's one
Yeah.
here.
It might have been when you were reloading. It looks like this. Can you see it now?
I can see the one on the right. But yeah, it's moving towards me.
Okay, there. That one I just copy pasted. You can shoot that one if you want. It's the same thing. Just a quick question. You got an 18, right?
Yes.
Whereas before, the armor seems to have been kind of protecting them. This actually hits. Something dropped its AC, mechanically speaking. And you hit. So you can, what was it, 4 damage? Okay, sorry. 4 damage. And
the previous one died.
It did.
So am I transferring or?
It's up to you. You want to transfer it and do more damage?
I do, yes.
That'll kill it.
Sweet.
It has 5 HP left, and you
Perfect.
do an extra 5.
And then you could get your because there's nothing else within 30 feet to transfer it to.
Yeah.
You could get your health back now.
So
This is true.
it's pretty good. The creature is blasted from the air. Bits rain down around you, but you see its wing sort of crack back in together, and you see its wounds where it's been blasted slowly beginning to knit back. It is on 0 for the time being, but
And I'm just literally gonna yell, "Kill it with fire!"
yeah. Nice. From out of the green chamber, the flapping of wings, another swarm descends on the party, but looks like it's going to go for the group at the back here. Yeah, it's still got its good fly speed, so it swoops in. One's going to try and make work of the Golgar here. Doing something, I guess. The one you just blasted like I say, sorry to say it, but it claws itself back up to its I was going to say feet, but it doesn't have any. It just simply rears back up like a cobra and looks for a target to strike at.
Yuckmug's the bloodiest.
You do look pretty bloody, sure. Goading me, aren't you? It will strike towards you then, Yugmug.
Do I have my reaction still?
Yes.
I do. I will sentinel that then.
Go for it.
That's why I was goading him towards the ally.
Damn you. That was dirty tactics. Go ahead and Ooh, yeah. How do you finish this guy off?
Oh Jesus! So, as it swoops down, I don't actually know what these things are. I'm really sorry.
If you scroll back up in the chat, you'll see these images of snake-like creatures with a single appendage that is like a scythe clawy thing, like an arm, and their heads are like giant spikes as well.
So I can imagine it probably goes to dive towards Yuckmug with its spiked face jutting forward to kind of pierce with its snout, and I just grab it by the neck and punch through it.
Nice. That punch is also a flaming blade on the end of it, and it seems as though that is what finishes it off. What else? Oh, that's it. Okay, cool. So moving down then to Raheem. He's gonna move over and pull the dagger back out of this one. Looks like there's more up here. A lot more. Oh no. He's gonna quickly. Oh, can he get enough movement? I guess he can bonus action dash, but he's carefully stepping in between all the spikes.
Oh no, one of the Golgars down.
He's aiming at the quilled one. He tosses a dagger towards it. See if it hits. That would hit, but it is gonna parry. Ah, through these things. Lokshun.
Right, that way 30 feet.
Oh, take that back. What is it? 1982? No, the parry still works. Never mind.
Can I see through all these crystals?
If you can see through them with your character, then yes.
Yeah, because I can see like Zybits and that getting a bit.
Yeah. They do block line of sight.
Oh, they do block line of sight.
Yeah, but that's if your character is blocked.
But I mean,
Yeah.
Can your
Yeah.
character, you like, for example, you shouldn't be able to see Zybits.
I can see the edge of Zybit. Well, I can see it all technically, but I can see the edge of Zybits in light. I
Yeah.
can see this, and I can see
If
the
you can
edge.
see it, you can see it. Your character, what your character can see is what you can see. I don't know how to say it any other way. You can see what you can see.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast darkness on them
Okay.
in the hopes of that giving the
Yep.
people means of getting
Go ahead. Cast the spell.
out. It gives us a chance to recuperate as to what to do next.
Is it played in template?
So yeah, I'll cover the Golgar as well, and still
Okay.
only Zybits will be fully in it, so at least the others can
Gotcha.
they know
Yep.
how to get out, what
Alright.
direction.
So you see a creature fly past and into the darkness. You don't know what's going on in there, but you can hear the sounds of clawing and slicing.
It'd be a disadvantage, wouldn't it?
Nope.
Really?
They don't have eyes.
Oh, would I know that?
You can see that, but it's gone now. That I told you this many times before. When I said they have a head for a spike for a head, did mention they have no eyes or nose. And I mean, you've got the art for you.
That picture looks like it has an eye.
Oh.
Like it literally looks like it has an eye in the picture.
Not in that picture.
Not in the silver one. But in the one underneath, the what is it? The acid one.
Well, this is the one that just. I'll show you what the one that just attacked him looks like. It seems to have grown these massive appendages out of its back. They almost look like kind of rocky. And again, as you can see, it has no eye. In fact, I should have also mentioned this thing is way larger than the others.
You just looked at the wrong picture. The one I looked at has an eye. The rest
None
of
of them have
don't.
eyes.
The rest
Alright.
of them don't.
The creature, this one as well, it's going to enlarge all of them. The ones that are coming from the emerald chamber, it seems as though as they're swooping in, their size is increasing. They've just all grown to a larger size. Yeah, because they spent an action doing that. Oh my god. He's gone. He went over. I enlarged him and he went so big that he got pushed into the other map. Can you believe it? Only DMs would know the pain. Alright, okay. Here we go. Which means all their attacks do an extra d4 as well. So, ding ding. Extra damage to this Golgar. It's looking pretty rough. This Golgar's getting sliced to pieces, but you can't even see it now. He's in the darkness. Yuckmug's up.
Oh, no, sorry. So that's probably accurate for him. Probably just get to like there, and for now, whilst actually, I'm just gonna have him go to there actually, rather than all the way up there, and I'm just gonna have him use his action to hide as best he can because he is battered. Really young mug.
I
saw that spin on a 19 and I was like, yeah!
Ends up like sitting on a spike instead and yelping.
That's me.
Okay.
Because I can't see Yuckmug doing much more in this fight. He's got 6 HP left.
See that. This is his last ultrasonic tone before this little scorpion needs to take a rest. Yeah, loud booming sounds can be heard from over there. Might be what alerted the other ones. Or maybe it's what Lost to Earth said and they have a seemingly hive mind. Kesh'an is up.
Awesome. So
your goal, I just want to reiterate because you missed the first part.
Yeah.
Your goal here is to eliminate a crystalline slithering creature. What has happened is these creatures are able to adapt and mutate. This one in particular seems to be spreading this immunity of being petrified in this realm to the others, thus creating sort of an invasion. If you can kill that one, it means the others aren't going to be much of a threat. They will just simply die on their own accord if they stay here long enough.
Do we see that from where we are?
From where you are. Also, the last thing I should mention, you were told that it was in the last spotted in the ruby realm. These ones pouring out are coming from the green chamber, and from where you are, you actually can't see any of them. You saw a brief flash of 2 of them fly past, but this crystalline chamber it's like a forest, and all these crystals are forming like a thick cover, so that you only see a brief moment as 2 of them fly past and into a well of darkness.
And just to clarify, this room that we're in now is opposite the one from where the dragon was.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case,
Yeah, you haven't fully explored this room, but nonetheless.
no problem. I will move my full 50 action dash as I see Raheem.
Okay, as you're running, I'll just tell you the first step you take is god awful. It's painful as hell. You take
I heard, the walking on
yeah. Now
sharpness.
you can choose to treat this as difficult terrain and go carefully, but the first square you do step on as you're running, you immediately feel the pain of stabs through your feet.
Gotcha.
So you can either take a crap ton of piercing damage as you run through it all, or do you want to try and go slowly? You've still got a ton of movement, technically.
I was going to say I'll go slowly but quickly.
Okay, so just half your movement for this turn.
Okay. Did I move last turn?
You did.
I did. Cool. So in that case, I would have already done my movement because that's who's that totaling it up already?
That's 80.
80 feet. So yeah, I would have had to bonus action, step of the wind, dash.
Yeah, if you want to do that, you can do.
I'll probably get to about there, maybe. I think.
You'd have 100 feet with Step of the Wind, correct?
And action dash.
Then 150. So yeah, you get to roughly about there. Yeah,
Yeah, if my maths is correct.
that's fine. We'll say it's there.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right then. The next one to come flapping out of the Emerald Chamber seems to be a two-headed sliver. This one already, like even before it's taken any damage, seems to have somehow grown an extra appendage. Looks like this. Pretty hideous. The creature immediately sinks its talons and claws into the Golgar that is the most bloodied. And these things are nasty. They're not just going for any random target. Whoops, sorry, Andy. They're going for like focus fire, and they just seem to just rip and tear into whoever's most injured. I'm gonna roll a 20, see if I crit. No, okay.
How did that hit Andy?
I accidentally targeted her, I think, somehow. There we go. And they're all kind of flying up in the air as well. So they're just surrounding this poor guy. Zybits is in there somewhere as well. I can't see him. Poor Zybits is trying to crawl away out of the fray. He's going to disengage and run. It says, there's more of them! More! They keep coming! They seem to be two-headed and one's made of stone. It just runs. Okay, that is going to move. It's his movement, really. Vishtar. Ah. Two heads. Sounds like two swings of my mace. Wow. Yeah, Vishtar is packing an absolute punch. Probably going to deal with these no problem. None of these seem to be crystal. I'm sure I have better luck searching elsewhere. It is Andy's go. You're still in the astral sea at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing I can still use my spells in the astral sea.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because she's basically in here to try and give herself a bit of a breather because she's quite low. So I'm gonna...
She's gonna hug herself this
hug
time.
myself. 29.
Oh my goodness.
That brings me up to 40.
All right. Yep.
50.
That's
50.
Yeah, 50.
Oh, 50, okay.
Feeling a lot better after that stab wound. Healing yourself up. And go to the quilled one, which is still in here. Finally. As much damage in there as possible. Another crit on the Golgar, is it enough? No? They're so tanky. That's gonna be its go. You just can't really see what's going on in there, but needless to say, it's pretty painful for him. He can't see, but he knows he's getting stabbed the heck out of. He can't really fight back in this condition, so he's gonna try and disengage and move. Finds his ally who's like unconscious on the floor. Not good for him. Yugmug's still back in the very recesses of this cave. We're back to the top of the round level and still going.
So we're looking for the red room. These are all coming out of the green room, right?
That's correct.
See, now I can just about see this down here, the entrance, the other
Yeah.
tunnel here.
If you
What
can see
color
that.
is that?
There is a red, like a really rich red glow coming from there.
Sweet. I'ma just yell, okay, the red room is that away, and I'm gonna start making my way.
Yeah, you could dash and get.
Yeah, but obviously I'm half. Oh no, I'm on the broom.
Oh,
I'm on
are
the
you?
rocking
Okay,
horse thing.
go for it then. Yeah, you can go like a. What's the broom's movement? 50? So
Yeah.
you can go 100 feet.
Cool. I will do that.
Yeah, you go moving your token while I jump to.
Andy's not around, so I don't need to take her with me. So I'm just gonna go. Whoop.
Sure thing.
That was 55.
Frenzy. Blood frenzy.
45.
You got 100 for moving. You can go.
Yeah, that's what I've done. So I did 55 and then 45.
Okay.
That's 100, right?
Looks about it.
5 and 5 is 10, so 4 and 5 plus 10 is 100.
Raheem will heed your word, and he's going to action dash, bonus action dash, and get a good chunk of distance away as well. What's this? 70. So he goes 90 feet. It'll be 45, roughly. He's just carefully navigating through Lokshun.
Yeah, Luxian probably just humphs or something, makes some noise, and just says, "Come on, let's go. Let the devil deal with those. Either he dies or they die. We both win." Because he doesn't care for the devil.
I think I'm going to die down here.
He probably only says it loud enough for Kesh'an and Zybits to hear. Because he's quite far away. But,
Okay, sure.
where we going again? Oh, goddammit.
Eirina seems to have gone down and to the left, and so's Raheem.
I'll move full 60.
Yeah, no problem. Yugmug?
Hey, is it 60 for flying? Yeah, 30 feet.
Yuckers? Yuckers muckers?
James's yuccas?
Yeah, so looking on Yukmug's sheet, it
Yep.
says he's used his wholeness of body. But
Right.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I feel that
Then-
might be because he's linked to the other sheets.
Yes, I
that's
did.
what you said.
I said this
before.
last session, I think. Yeah, it's because all of the monks are Yugmugs.
Yeah.
And I used their stuff as well.
And his
some point.
wholeness of body is the mega heal, right?
He is also open hand, just as
How?
he was taught in the same monastery.
When did he get
Effectively.
healed? What? Did I miss him getting healed?
You might have stepped on a crystal.
Because he was on 6 and now he's on 35.
I'm not sure how that happened either.
I think it's when Andi healed herself.
Oh, you had Rockmore targeted.
Yeah,
Uh,
you get one plus
I'm not
attack
sure, but
as
you're
well.
you're correct. You're on
Yeah, that's my fault
16.
because I still have Yuckmug selected. I apologize for
okay.
that.
Right.
Ah, there we
So
go.
I'm gonna have him do the mega heal, wholeness of body.
Wholeness of body. All right.
Yeah,
Sure thing.
boy.
All the
Because-
blood stains and wounds, the fatigue of battle, flood away as you restore yourself to what once was a full Yugmug, fullness of body.
You know,
A full mug.
I forgot I could do that. All right.
You did it at the most efficient time
Yeah.
in like single digits.
Yep, and that's him because I've got no key points to step the wind. Or
Yeah,
anything.
that is fair. Okay. Dilv is also going to get the heck out of dodge. He's kind of scuttling away, trying to be safe about where he's moving. Kesh'an, you can see the scorpions are running. Even the Golgar is running, and he falls down and collapses as two of these giant slivers pounce upon him and just start stabbing him in the back. And he looks like he's about to die. The other one is laying there unconscious, and it's the only thing that's fighting amongst these is the pit fiend Vishtar. He's just got this flaming mace knocking them away. But he turns to you. He's like, "I've got this. If you want to join your allies, I won't take offense."
Will you at least help to save the Golgar once you're finished?
If he's still breathing,
You better make sure they are. And Kesh'an's going to turn and run.
okay.
Oh, I don't want to do
Tiptoeing
that.
through the diamonds.
Yeah, I'm gonna tread carefully and run back towards my allies. Does it look
Makes-
like there's difficult terrain over the top of these crystals?
Yeah, the crystals, from what we've seen, have been difficult terrain because when Yuckmug's been running up them in order to attack that thing when it was flying, he was at half movement.
Yeah. This is the kind of realm
Okay.
I've shown everyone else in the chat. Everything is literally on the
Okay.
point. Just
Yeah.
spikes on everything.
Spikes.
Like running on a
Cool.
bed of knives.
In that case, Kesh'an is going to take his time as to not step on anything and is going to begin making his
Running away.
way.
Okay.
Yeah. He'll burn his action. So 100 feet. 35, so 65. I'll pick up Andi while I'm there.
They're,
And just go.
they're still in the astral plane, I think, unless they came back.
Oh,
They are, yeah.
okay. Did I see her disappear into the astral? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And you know whereabouts she did that as well.
In that case, with the danger about, and as I saw the heal from earlier, which, by the way, out of character was adorable, I will wait for her to pop out.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to speed down to Andi then. Do you want to come out of
Hello.
your... You're
Can I
feeling a little
hold?
bit healthier?
Can
and
I
you can...
hold my movement?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Should mention as well, Andi, when you're in the astral sea, everything is just a glittering, sparkling landscape of lights. It seems as though you can see almost every single crystal in the sea of stars, but instead of them being a crystal, they seem to be the pulsing positive energy that's floating in them, stored in them, and you're seeing that as the light.
I think
almost
basically what it
blinding.
is, she only really jumped in here just to kind of like heal herself because she was just getting used as a battering ram. And while she's there, she's taking a few breaths. She screams into the astral sea. So she's getting
into the void.
She's getting fed up of having to fight and fight and fight, and all it's been is just fighting and fighting and fighting. And she's like, okay, right. And she takes her back off and she pops back in.
Find your safe space.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
As soon as you pop out, Kesh'an grabs your hand and dashes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. Yeah, basically.
He's probably just sat there waiting.
And with that, I'm
She's
gonna
just
move you
flapping
guys
like a
forward.
kite tail behind him.
Doom rockets blasting off again.
So I'm gonna just
That's what it's
speed
like.
you off, as it seems as though you're out of the danger from that group of enemies. You have to carefully tiptoe your way down, but I'll move your tokens as a group now. You catch up to each other, and up ahead you see this radiant scarlet glow coming from this chamber. It's both blindingly bright, but also incredibly rich in red color. And if you move your tokens down into that space, you should take yourself to another map where we will probably re-roll for initiative because this is a different group of enemies, and you take a couple turns to get down there anyway. All right. You'd be pleased to know that you've killed a few of the nasty slivers. The shiny one was probably a nasty one to get rid of.
Devil's taking care of the rest.
Yeah, but that'll probably be happening at the same time as this, so
Yeah,
I'm not
which is
going
a
to
good,
keep them.
which is a good thing. But then that means that we don't end up against it.
This
Any,
one really looks like
Yeah.
Predator.
There's something else I should mention is
That
as
one
you was
has got eyes.
yeah, there's something creepy about the creature inside here that's standing almost ready for you. Like they knew you were coming for some reason, and they're already in a somewhat semblance of a formation. The one standing, yes, standing, it actually has legs and limbs. Seems to have two appendages
Oh, bye,
for
Jamey.
arms. These blades are made of some sort of bony appendage, and they've got them out in a defensive posture. The two either side of the bone scythe is one that is kind of like crawling forward on on its hook arm, and out of its back it has what look to be blades. Like it looks like someone's run it through with a Zweihander, and it's just got this sword sticking out of its back. The one on the right seems to have like these clusters of different gemstones on its skin, almost like it's melded into armor. And finally, the one that is actually, there's two more. There's one that is kind of coiled around the gigantic ruby in the center of the chamber, and it appears to have crystalline skin, glitters in the light, and has this kind of reflective, opalescent look to it. I'm gonna spam the chat with art, but
we
here's the.
Are we counting the bugs in the corners?
There are some bugs as well. Around the light of this gigantic ruby seems to be this recess, like a pit, and in it there is something scuttling around like a giant centipede, which has like many legs, and it like occasionally looks up and peers in your direction, and as it does, it kind of rears up two little mandibles and points forward, and at that point, all of the others surge forward as well, and I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative.
So is this one like the mother one? Because in terms of its height, it's sat on top of loads of eggs.
It does appear to have what I said, like is a pit, and it's scuttling over the eggs, tending to them. I should also mention these things were ready for you, which means they have all used enlarge as well. So this guy gets big. This guy is enlarged. And this one as well. Okay. The I got everyone. I hope I got everyone. Yep, crystalline slivers up first. Okay. Almost like it sensed you coming for it. It knows it's the target. It is going to the quilled one is still alive, so it is going to fire forwards its quills towards the group. which one of you's bloodied Kesh'ana's? Yeah. Firing. Firing for effect.
Where? Oh,
Deflect
what?
missiles?
Oh no. Yeah, it does have.
Is it ranged attack?
Yeah.
So this is, it can be ranged. It says it's melee
Okay.
there, but it's also got the ability to somehow fire the claw from its limb. And as it does, you see this crystal spike flying straight towards your eye.
I would definitely like to deflect missile.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Which I think
grab
just
that out of the air.
automatically succeeds because that was
It
a really
would
lousy
absolutely.
roll.
It does, unfortunately. If you want, you can spend key to throw it back, but that's up to you.
No,
Or you
I'll
can
just kind of catch it and just into the ground.
Okay, nice. I'm
What's-
gonna fire a second claw as well, and that one goes wide. After that, it crawls around behind the crystal and is going to use that as full cover. It's massive. Yes. Andy, it's your go.
Well, it's within distance. So she's just like, I'm guessing it's the big shiny one right in the middle.
Yep, that's just hidden behind the crystal.
Hidden behind, damn. Okay. If it's hidden, I
Unfortunately.
can't really hit it.
You know it's there. You could sort of, if you have a spell that hits like as an area of an effect, you could try and get it behind it, but any direct attacks, it's just going to hit the crystal.
Yeah, it's more like, will my magic missiles know to go around a bend?
They are
Unfortunately,
magic.
you'll
It's
need to see
true.
the target
Yeah.
for magic
No.
missile, sadly.
Andy, if you... Because you can bonus action dash, right?
Yeah.
So
You
if
could
you
get yourself-
repositioned yourself over here, it should only have like partial cover, right? From there.
Yeah, you could get over there. And this room, by the way, doesn't seem to be as spiky as the others. You can see it feels like it's been, what's the word? Worked? It's like worked ground.
You'd need to work out the best optimal place, but you can move 60 feet with that, so you can probably get into a position that's better for it.
Yeah, that's up to you.
I can't.
You need to. You got to remember it froze. Can someone please move Andy's token? The computer's stuck again.
To here?
Yeah, just anywhere around there where I'm going to be able to see. I can't see it from
Right,
there.
Okay, let me just
Hold on. Let me get rid of this.
let me just undo your movement a second. Oh god, I moved you back to the previous map. Damn it. God, I hate.
Hold on, guys, I'm just glitching.
Right, okay. Where was Andy? No, now I've got everyone selected, not just set. Okay. Sorry, just I can't act. There she is.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'm
All right.
trying to maneuver her to a point.
Okay.
I don't,
So you ran out 60 feet over to here.
I don't think
Um,
that side you could get it.
It is still quite hidden behind the cover by the looks.
Yeah.
It's positioned itself very well.
I
So-
thought perhaps you might be able to maneuver enough, but seemingly not.
That's unfortunate. You still got an action though.
If I use my invisibility, my greater invisibility. Well, one of them is a normal spell, isn't it? The other one is a violin. Yeah. I think the greater invisibility is the one I can use at will, from what I remember.
Rater's better suited for combat as well, because it only
Yeah.
lasts a minute, but it doesn't break when you...
So what I might do then, I will cast greater invisibility on myself before I start moving.
Okay.
So at least I've got a little bit of cover on me while I'm moving around and getting closer to these things. So
That's your last 4th level. by the
Yeah.
looks. Okay, cool. Click that. And that. There we go.
The
Alright.
annoying thing is, these things don't seem to see, but should still help.
Though, yeah, that is one thing. All
But
right,
this
that's
one
your.
sees or seems to see, so it might
Does
help
seem
with
how
that.
nice.
Is-
Yep, web's up.
Is the yellow one not moving?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. It will move up a little bit. Yes. And this one aims towards. It's going to aim toward. Yeah, it's going to go for Kesh'an again because you're at the front, and you have been hit. So you haven't got your
I haven't got my.
your
Have
cloak
I?
is not up.
No, because he deflected it, so he didn't get
I
hit.
deflected it.
True, true. These would be flat.
So the first one probably would have missed because
That's a
Would have
miss.
missed, yeah.
And the second one's a miss.
Yep.
Yeah, it really needed that advantage. Whew. Okay. That's it.
Is my hit points already gained back?
Yeah, I've done it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, yeah, one's up.
Okay, I'm just trying to think what's my best move. I know roughly where it is. If I move, actually, how can AOE is that? Sorry, I just need to look up a spell because it's not actually on. Oh no, did I put that on the sheet? Yes, I did. To help me. In 120 feet view, point from choose within 5 feet point, so I can see that square. I can get around. Okay. Can I have them move up to? Wow, the lighting on this thing is different to what I was expecting. I'm just calculating the best spot now that I'm trying to understand the lighting on this. If I move to there instead, then no, that's still not going to help. Wow, the lighting on this crystal is awkward from. I would have thought I'd be able. I thought I would have been able to see this square from where I am.
You can, and it is not on that square.
I don't need to necessarily for it to be on that square.
Yeah.
Because I have an AoE that works from this distance.
Yeah.
And it's a particularly type of AoE which seems to be effective.
Oh, nice.
Not targeting myself with that, but
Okay.
basically I'm going to target, because it's scuttled behind here, so I'm assuming it's in like one of these sort of 4 squares.
Yes.
So I'm sort of aiming for this square.
Yep, I'll hit it.
With 2 meteors. Because you
Okay.
can fire off 2, I think. Time, right? Yeah. So yeah, so I fired off 2. So I'll
Does it make 2 deck saves?
Yep.
Okay. You know, as they come colliding towards that point, it seems almost as if they veer away slightly at the last moment.
Yeah.
And as the blast goes off, it's quite tucked up against the crystal enough that it seems to resist the damage.
But I mean, I'd imagine the explosion would also potentially chip the ruby a little. Possibly.
No, not at all. In fact, the ruby seems to absorb the fire, and you see the flame glow brighter in the actual crystal.
Okay, so
giving off a really nice glow to the room.
So he's got 4 of these meteors left. It's fine.
That's
That is his turn.
7 and 5.
Yeah.
Was it 12?
Yeah.
-6. Okay. Oh no. I didn't just. Yeah, I did. Okay.
Panic.
Taking it from every one of them. What?
When the DM panics, we all panic.
Oh yes.
Why is it going? Alright, the first sliver. Oh, sorry. Yeah, the first sliver is her go. This larger than the other slivers, even though the others have enlarged themselves seemingly somehow. This one is massive, and its long centipede form looks up and around, and its tail whips around and it grabs onto the crystal, and you see a flame-like energy rush down its tail, up its spine, and into its head, where suddenly a ball of fire shoots forth from the very tip of its spike, straight towards the group right here. And I'm going to need everyone there to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Evasion.
All right.
Oof.
Oh man.
So
Should've been.
Luxun got a nat 20 for his first roll and decided that's it for the rest of the session.
Has he been rolling crap after that?
Yeah.
Yogmog's been doing surprisingly well, but annoyingly not quite well enough. My first roll of the night was a crit, and then I've managed to get like 4 19s on the dice. It's just like, give me the 20 again, you... Or let me Hexblades curse people somehow. Because I would be destroying things by now. God.
Should roll for the two little crystal boys. Oh, one of them passed. You only got a 14, Kesh'an? Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, unfortunate. The fire erupts, as you'd imagine, with the same velocity of that of a fireball, dealing 20 fire damage in that area. Those who got a 16 or higher pass.
Tend to
So-
myself with evasion.
You still take half.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Wait.
what did Llewellyn get? I didn't see their roll. Oh, 10, sorry. You still have flat. It's only skill checks. But are you resistant to fire? No, you're not. Okay. Oh, jeez. So you take 25 Zybits. As you well know, Chrismals are hardy diamonds, and they're already resistant. So they actually only take 10. So, not all that much. It still takes a bit of a chunk. Takes the full 20, but reduced. Yes. Luxun, what did you get?
I've already taken the damage off. It's
You've already done it? Okay, cheers.
Full
I-
20.
Okay, cool. And Raheem just do his. Takes nothing. Evasion buddies. They just
Yeah, boy.
high fives you. All right, that's it. The creature after that kind of scuttles around to the other side and seems to be observing you, watching you. Somehow, perhaps. Admiring your physiques. Kesh'an, it's your go.
Awesome. I'll take the first move, I guess, and I'll sprint up to the first one.
Yeah.
Full round of attacks.
I was waiting. Okay, so before you roll any more, just want to let you know that as you strike into the back of it, the blades that are sticking out of it, one of them kind of aims in your direction, like it turns itself, almost using its back as a shield, and you end up cutting your like arm as you're striking down at it. It's quilled hide. You take 1d10 piercing damage.
It's
Um,
okay.
Yeah, it's just a little nick. You can keep going.
Yep. I'll keep going.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go.
Ow. Oh, yeah? Well, you know what? Take this. 1 point of piercing. Yeah, you're fighting through the pain. It is like nothing compared to the damage you're dealing to it. Oh, yeah. It's bloodied immediately from that one strike.
I'll just go for last punch. Not gonna flurry of blows. Oh, okay.
That is a miss, sadly. But in that same vein, you don't get any stabby stab back. the very least.
And
Okay.
visage appears.
All right, Raheem. He's gonna join you. Why not? Finish the beast. Dashes with his bonus action, and then pulls out the rapier and tries to stab it from behind. I got it. Ouch! But he does take a little stab on the way in.
Sneak attack. Sneak attack.
Here it comes. He's got the. Oh, don't sneak attack
Ooh.
yourself.
33. That is
That
a good.
is a lot.
Lowest on the
Nice.
dice. 4s.
Nice.
That is. Damn.
That would put it to death's door. It seems to be skewered all the way through from the tail to the head, and you see the rapier just come through the head, pulls back, and it seems to just be reeling and dazed. Blood's this weird ichor, like blood is pouring out. It looks red, like normal blood, but it's almost too red. The next turn is the Bone Scythe Sliver, who rushes forward, brings up the two blades, and comes swinging towards you, Kesh'an. Where are they? Okay, here we go.
Disadvantage. Of course.
Right. Flat. Okay. Woo! Down. Okay, second one. He's got flanking, but is it enough? Yes.
I don't think Barry's gonna save me there, actually.
It'd be an extra 2 on that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't save me. No. I'll take that 8 damage.
Okay, 8 damage as these long, almost wielded like great swords with the size they are. In fact, I almost forgot an extra 1d4 for them being large. Every little helps. Yeah. With the strike, your shimmering form stills, giving time for the others to sort of rush in. Sorry, Lokshin, you're right at the bottom there. Can't really see. Oh wait, can we see Andi? 40 feet away.
And he's invisible.
Yes, I know that. But these creatures, as I've mentioned before, don't have eyes.
Yeah, but you asked, can it see Andy? So I was just answering.
Yeah,
the
I
question.
was checking its blind sight. It is blind beyond its blind sight, so it can technically not see some creatures. Like for example, it can't see Llewellyn or Lokshin.
It was sarcasm.
Okay, alright. Anyway, Yugmug's also there, but you're on full health, so sorry Andy, it is gonna come for you. No. Has it gone off movement? Where was it? Yes, it does. Okay.
I wish Yugmug had some.
Got a better idea. Gonna go up to Yugmug, aim down here, and acid spray you.
And I'll
So-
mention that.
Yeah, that worked. So this one seems to breathe some sort of acidic bile in your direction. It does clip you, singeing you for a little bit. Yugmug just kicks up a brick or stone and blocks the whole thing. Yep, that's its go. The Ruby Nuggets go? Oh yeah, he's up here. Almost forgot. You see a little creature that is crawling down from one of these massive stalactites from the ceiling, and it says to you guys, well, only really Kesh'an understands it, in a kind of chiming sound. You hear them say, "Get them out of my nest, please! They've turned this thing into a horrible breeding ground. They just keep coming. Destroy them all. I'll make it worth your while." You can just see it at the very top, little tippy top. He's so small.
I was going to say, what is that? And what is that?
Oh, well, this is my home. Or was my home before these things showed up. They seem to be, I'm not sure, absorbing the energy and transforming it. Couldn't tell you what they are. Just that they're invaders in my home. Yeah, I'll show you the full art for these little guys. Now that you've seen both of them. They're the nuggets. You've seen the sapphire nugget and the ruby nugget now. Aren't they the cutest?
Those are what evolution should look like in Pokemon.
Yes. Yes.
It's literally got the Firestone and like Ice Stone built in.
I've used all my ultrasonic tones. I'm just
Slap
gonna have to
him.
go up and stab. Yep, slap him. Stab him! Yeah. Sorry, Andy. It misses by the looks. So, not much use there. If that came up with a deck save, just roll it and I'll undo the damage for you. And then we'll do a little claw attack. Snip, snip.
Why didn't it just do that as a ranged attack?
Well, it was doing ultrasonic blasts, which were more damage up till
No,
now.
but I'm just saying with the tail, it could have done that as ranged this time, rather than getting up
Well,
close.
it can multi-attack and get a claw that this way. So
True.
you'll run forward, do the tail, and then go for a snip snip. But snip, super snip, hypercutter. That would do some damage, but it's only chip damage by the looks. These things are still somehow resistant to like attack, like bludgeoning, piercing, that kind of thing. They strike into their flesh. They find there's this hardened, almost gem-like in organs inside. That is its go. Llewellyn. Quickly speed through this because you've not got much time.
Right. Okay, I can go 100 feet in the air.
You can go 50 feet and 100 if you dash.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, that kind of scuffles my plan a little bit then.
Yeah, sorry. I'll say you can be a little bit forward. Like, you can be like here and start your movement. That's as much as I'll give you.
Yeah, this isn't right. Let's see. If I get you... Yeah, I'm gonna go to about here.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can't move my bloody token. What the hell is going on?
There you go.
Thank you. And Llewellyn knows about this because he's the one who gave it to Eirina in the first place. Or it might have been Karius, but I'm sure Llewellyn was there. Earring a fireball, and I am yeeting it over the crystal.
Okay.
I think it was Karius. I gave you that.
I know you were together because you both went to the shop to get them made. Or bought them together.
I think I went for the necklaces of adaptation. And
Yeah, you were both together when it was bought though, so he knows what it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And it's 60-foot yeeting distance.
Okay. Yep.
And it explodes on contact, and it's a 3rd level fireball.
Uh-huh. Go ahead and click. Have you got the fireball on your sheet? If you have.
Yeah.
Great.
I have to place a template.
Yeah, stick it right where you can see, like here.
I like
So you
to,
gotta have-
I like to
there you go.
imagine because you think you're Llewellyn, you do the spell as if you would because he actually has fireball, and it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's
do it,
why that's the only reason it made sense in my brain.
And then you go, why is it not working? Ah, screw it. I'm just gonna use this.
Could you re-roll? Could you roll a d6 for me? Just
Okay.
a d6. 3. Okay, cool. For some reason it didn't apply damage. I'll do it manually. Screw it. Oh, you know why it didn't? I do this. Oh, that worked. Okay, cool. So what you see then is this sliver that kind of absorbed the heat from that crystal earlier. It seems as though the heat from this fireball just washes over it completely. The other sliver, who's hiding behind the crystal, is going to roll a save. Yeah, that one does not have as much luck. You see its form almost blasted away out of the cover and then tries to scuttle back in to it. But he's clearly on fire from the hit.
And
So
all
he
the
takes the full
eggs.
damage.
All the eggs.
Oh no, my eggs! You burnt my eggs! So I'll give you the full out of the first sliver.
Excellent.
These little popping sounds happen, and you hear the scraping sounds. They try to claw their way out of their own flaming nest, and all these burning tiny snakes are just sizzling on the ground as they crawl about 5 feet away and then keel over.
Omelette,
like a
anyone?
hard- Yeah, it's so awful. Ugh. Nice, good shot.
What have a full omelette? Just a sliver.
Oh, okay. Moving swiftly along. Is that your go? Lokshoni? Your go?
Yeah, I will come in behind this guy and be like
you may have targeted yourself.
I did.
That was the plan.
Yeah, and first attack. When it decides it wants to. Why does it put it into the chat now? How weird. And as soon as I clicked attack, now it's giving me the I cannot do this sign. The red circle with a line through it. Weird.
Sounds like a reload to me.
That sounds like a reload. I'll try restarting his character sheet. Ah, there you go.
That probably works.
Because I'm invisible, would that be with advantage for the first attack, or?
Nope, they got blind sight, I'm afraid. Even though, yes, this one has eyes, if you hadn't cottoned on yet, they share the abilities of each of them.
Mm-hmm.
And does being in the air not do anything with that?
No. Blind sight is pretty much just I think more like how Daredevil sees.
Daredevil sees when it rains. And
But he also sort of just senses people around him.
He's just lucky.
They have antennas, they have sniffy glands. Whatever it is an evolution beyond what you're comprehending.
Your blind sight sucks. I don't like it. It's a stupid concept.
Well, then you'd better kill the sliver that has it, hadn't you?
That's my 2 attacks.
The 22... Sorry, the 21... 17... 19... 20... How much can I parry? 2. Damn it! You got past his parry. See, I would be able to parry these, normally, had you not killed this shiny sliver. So, it's metallic...
Bringing the shiny sliver lowered their AC. Or lowered their parry.
So
it was their AC.
His attack is, as you see in the artwork, he does that, but he gets the glaive underneath and slices upwards and up his chin, and then uses that as a means to thrust forwards.
Okay. However, you see, it suddenly shifts, its neck cracks, and out of the back, spikes shoot out, much like the bladed one, and you take 19 points of piercing damage back as a retaliation.
I'm not invisible anymore, so that's fine.
In fact, one of these poor little scorpions has taken that same damage as well. They should be on -10.
Wow, that was a sucky roll. 2d10 and a 10 and a 9.
Yeah,
Wait, sorry.
You got puttied by that a bit, yeah.
It sounds like you need some help. You see the ruby nugget kind of hovering down towards you. I'll come help you. Okay, it is Andy's go.
Right. I can see this thing now, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one's in front of you.
Bandits.
Oh, you can see
But-
the one in front, yeah.
Yeah, but I want to see the big dude.
The one by the crystal.
Yeah.
There is
Jesus,
two by
what's
the
that?
crystal. One is a
The
very
one
large.
she can see.
The main one, the one we're supposed to be going for. Can I see that one?
No, it's like here-ish.
You see something else. It seems like the queen centipede-like creature.
That's the one that I'm trying
Yeah,
to get
no,
for.
the one we
but,
want
yeah.
is this one, but you want this. This is the only one you can see.
You want this guy. And I'll show you what that one looks like in the chat, in fact.
If
It's-
I can't see it yet, then
You
it's...
can always
Nope.
move round.
Yeah.
This is the crystalline sliver.
Yeah.
Because you can get around that thing without getting too close to it.
I could use all my movement basically to try and dodge around this one.
Yeah.
Because I can disengage as well. So
If
As I'm
if you
moving.
Your
if
bonus
you
action.
circle round so you keep a distance with your bonus action
That's
dash,
what
I
I've just
think
said.
you can get to there.
30, 40.
No, that was literally 30. Because you moved too far.
20.
And more. Still not.
Okay.
Side
I'm
of
gonna
it?
hunker down behind here then.
You know why you can't see it? Because its lighting is screwing you.
Yeah, that's what. That's
Oh,
what
there
I
you
wa-
go.
Thank you.
That's why I
Now I
wasn't
can
sure
see it.
because I thought with some of the other positioning that I should be able to see some of it, but
It was the so it's actually here, first of and there is
So
just
look.
enough to see a portion of it. The reason why is because the wall blocked light,
yeah,
whereas the crystal is giving off light. So I've just copied the light and put it on the other side now.
yeah.
So you can
So
see
you
it.
just
What do you want to?
double click this one first to untarget it. Oh, there you go. And then you can click that one.
Okay.
What'll it be?
One.
Pew pew pew.
Pew pew pew.
Do it. That is good.
I haven't used all my magic missiles.
Haven't
Why
you?
won't
I
it
mean-
do it?
Steph might
You
have been
had-
using them when you were off.
You've been blasting a
Was
lot.
it not? No?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Was the last time you had a long rest?
Oh wait, hold on. Consume resource. Don't want it to consume resource. There we go.
Hold on. If you're clicking don't consume resource, that means you can infinitely do it anyway. But I'm
yeah,
seeing
but
it does
I've got
say 0 out
6
of 6.
slots, and I definitely not used all the 6.
Well, every time you use one, it does automatically tick them off. So I don't know if you've accidentally clicked it, but
No.
if
No,
it's
she
saying
normally
0
leaves it on. But it's the only way she's going to be able to cast.
if it's 0 out of 6, that must
Fine,
mean you've
then
used 6
I'm not
up.
doing it. I can't do anything then. I'm not doing anything.
Well, you still got third
You
level
could-
spells,
you
No,
could-
no.
you
I'm
could-
gonna wait
fifth
then.
level. Powder daggers.
I need to rethink.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you a second. If you want, there's plenty of other spells you could totally shove down on it. I mean, Cloud
You
of
got
Daggers doesn't have a save. Gives me a second to do something anyway. To check that I've been doing regen.
me a second to devour my meal.
Oh, wait a minute. You killed the rotting one, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Never mind then.
Yeah.
You killed it. If you've noticed, I've ceased to remind you guys that they've been regenerating.
Yeah,
These ones aren't. Their wounds aren't knitting back together from the attacks that you've dealt.
Vish killed the big one. The
That's
rotten
right.
one.
That was the regenerating one.
Yeah.
Yep, you've started to figure it out. Exactly, it's
Which
hive
means-
mind
Which
powers.
potentially means only one of these has blind sight, but which one?
You'll also notice none of these are flying.
Ah, we
killed the
brought
cloud
down the
spreader.
flying.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is such a cool
Yeah,
ability.
that is a
thing
cool
to add.
concept. I actually really like that.
Yeah, Chris. in terms of the thing that got me back, is
Yeah.
that a whenever you attack it thing, or is that whenever someone within 5 feet attacks it thing?
No, that seems to be coming from this one, the blade back sliver. Every time you attack in melee, it seems to shoot out these crystalline spikes to the melee attacker.
Would that count someone who's 10 foot away from it? Because I'm using a reach weapon.
It is just if you hit them with in melee.
Yeah, just checking.
Yeah,
In
will
case.
hide. Yeah, it just says with a melee attack.
Okay, just checking.
I
Oops.
think I might know what the thing for Andy's rope, why it might be lower than it should be. Because I'm not sure if it's doing the recharge properly, because it's not a recharge on a long rest. It's a recharge 1d6 on a long rest, and I don't think that's been rolled. Because I don't remember that ever being rolled.
We'll find out later, but there's also the possibility that you used multiple charges in one go.
Really? You
That
can
has-
use more than one in a go?
I think, maybe? I'm not sure. In any case, Cloud of Dagger is going to do a great job on this anyway,
Nice.
because it doesn't get a save. It just starts shredding it.
Yeah.
The piercing and slashing damage, though, again, every time it cuts into it, feels like it's trying to cut through gem. Like its internal organs have hardened. But I wonder which one of those slivers is giving it that power. Let's move along to the blade back. Okay.
I will let you guys know I will be going into bed in 2 minutes, so I will
That's
say
fine.
night now.
Alrighty. No problems. Let's bring down Kesh'an. It's annoying me.
Bring it.
So got flat rolls, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's only 2 hits.
Deflect missiles.
It's
It's in front
I
of
mean,
you.
you could parry it if you got.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah,
wait.
I'll parry it.
Hey, you are right in that you just reminded me that I haven't taken the crystalline slivers go. But we'll do this one first. So yeah, he attacks you in melee. You can parry, and it I guess misses after that. 21 hits though. So
Also parry that.
you can only parry one.
I'm joking.
But hey, you stopped 7 damage, right? So you're on 24.
Have you not got the
minus-
thing that cuts stuff in half damage-wise? I think that might just be rogue.
No idea.
Oh.
That's
It's uncanny
end of
dodge.
go.
It's rogue.
Okay.
It's a rogue. I'm going to take the crystalline slivers go quick
Yep.
because I didn't get a chance with this. It does crawl around after getting shredded by the cloud. It crawls away up onto the crystal, and it looks down at everyone. You're quite out in the open, Lavellan. It's going to fire its claws towards you as a ranged attack. Hitting 7, then fires another one for 8. Somehow you're still standing. The crystalline sliver again crawls back into cover, playing hit and run tactics. Now it's Yugmugs.
Okay, so from a small creature can move through a large creature's square, right? And it doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's not like difficult terrain or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to take a heck of a risk here. I'm going to move through him and just basically I will risk the attack opportunity.
Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, I'll take one.
There.
You got full HP, so it just whiffs. Doesn't seem that interested in you.
Okay. And
Oh, wait.
I should be in range of that one with reach.
I just realised you haven't got full HP. It does take a bite out of you after all. Sniffs a bit of blood and nom nom.
Wait. Yeah, sure. Yeah, yep. And then I'm gonna swing twice onto the big one.
Oh, but you took out the Lancer, didn't you? Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry. You go for the big one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a solid hit. Cracks it. This one seems to have a real hard outer shell.
And then bonus action, 2 more meteors going for the crystalline
Okay.
nearby it. So
Right.
it needs deck saves, and I will roll the damage for it.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 succeeds, as does a 21, so they'll take
Yeah.
half of this damage, which is 2d6 per meteor, so
It looks pretty injured from all the meteors
I'll just roll 4d6. Wow.
and 10 fiery bludgeoning meteors. It looks pretty bad. You can see cracks forming all over its spine.
Mm.
Its head splintered. See chips of it falling to the ground.
Almost got it, guys!
Okay, that's it. First liver's had enough.
Yep.
Well, it's got nothing to protect at the moment, so.
Yeah, its eggs were burnt to a crisp. In fact, if anything, it should just furiously go for you, Llewellyn. You're the one who went, yeah, you know what? Screw Yagmog.
Okay, in which case, I will attack for opportunity because it's moved out of his threatened square because he has a reach weapon.
Yeah. And it no longer has flyby. Ah.
Ah.
Yeah, killing the Cloud Shredder got rid of flyby as well, which is really nice. Okay, it rears up in front of you like a great worm erupting from the earth, and then it strikes towards you, Llewellyn. Gonna go with advantage. 7 is still alive. Oh, it's got an extra d4. I keep forgetting my d4s because it's large. Okay, that will knock you unconscious, Llewellyn. 2 eviscerating strikes, slice, knock you to the ground in a pool of blood, and it lets out this chittering sound, almost like a victorious cry, and it echoes in the chamber. So you're on 0 on that, and I need to do an extra d4 to people I forgot about, which was Kesh'an, and that was about it. Oh, and Yukmog, actually. It doesn't make much of a difference, but it adds up. Okay, the next goes Kesh'an.
I'm gonna take one down beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this one down. Punch.
26,
How-
can't parry that.
How are you not
Yeah,
dead?
brutalized it. How do you kill it?
Oh fuck. Okay. So I actually start off with the ice punch, and I drive in. As the ice crystals begin to form, I punch with the fire, which just eviscerates, shooting shards of ice up into it and then exploding it from the center.
As it explodes, several of the blades jammed in its back fly in your direction, cut you for 7, slashing dangerously close to unconscious as well, but you've got the rest of your go.
I'm just gonna have to go all out. I turn around and punch towards the one fighting.
Yep.
Look.
Yep. The blades that were in the back of this creature, Lokshun, the ones that just hit you, suddenly snap off and fall to the floor with a clang. And I can no longer do the piercing damage back to Kesh'an. So you killed the one that was stabbing you, and yeah, that was the blade back. Yep.
What's this one given then?
You'll see. As it brings up its blades and catches your weapon
It's the parry.
and lifts them up and pulls the weapon away and parries that blow.
Okay. Parry this motherfucker.
Oh no, it doesn't.
For a second, I thought maybe the one with the eyes was the one that was giving everyone else sight.
Do you know what? Con
Actually-
save on
Hold
this one.
up, I just remembered there is still something alive. The 2-headed sliver is alive, which means when you've cut this thing up with your glaive, it grew up another head, and it looks out from behind its back, like a face appears out from behind. It sees you and then catches your blade in its mouth, and is going to parry that as well with another reaction.
Is it though? Because at this point, Vishtar's had 2 turns.
Uh, he's probably
Technically.
killed. He's probably killed something out over there.
And he
And
was
the-
right
and the-
next to the two-headed one. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
the
sure.
two-headed one was the one he attacked last time.
Well, you know.
I call for a roll for it.
Okay, let me come back and check. If you hadn't guessed, the two-headed one gives it multiple reactions.
Wonder what the
Let me check.
stone one
Go back
does.
to the other map.
Uh,
You know what? You're right. The two-headed one is the actual one that's lowest here. Ishtar would probably finish it off with
Yep.
this. Smack. Yeah, that's down. So just okay, I'll retcon that. Just as you see this head come out and is about to parry, it suddenly withers and rots away and falls to the ground.
yeah.
Hot.
I'll get
Save.
Vishtar started on the next one, so
And
you
then
can
what-
stunning strike it after all.
And then
Yeah,
what
go
would,
ahead.
what would have been the next one it would have attacked?
It's going for this big stony one that seems to have adapted itself to the earth plane. It's got like big clusters of rock.
We've not seen any of them burrow.
No, you'll see what that one is. That's the might sliver. But, all right, I'm coming back.
Gives them
Coming back to
advantage
you
on
guys.
strength saves.
They all do have that, but no one's rolled a strength save against it, so okay.
Then one
con
of these
save.
is giving
that
advantage
passes,
on
yeah.
a dex save because it has advantage on that as well. Interesting.
Honestly, cannot believe that Cam chose damage over healing at such a low health and got away with it for now.
Yep.
That's Kesh'an.
We
All right.
at the moment
I took a gamble, but I thought getting rid of one is going to be better than me just healing and then taking a full round of attack from two of them.
we don't have much healing right now. This is a
No,
battle.
this is a battle
Does
indeed.
he have any bonuses due to flanking to make that a
Yes,
hit?
he does. Oh my god, that's their AC. Yeah, 17.
Yes.
Yeah, you got
Remembering
lucky
the
there.
rules.
You are. Thankfully, for dealing with the shiny sliver, this one takes a nasty slice from behind, which its harder metallic outer shell has since gone, and is able to pierce straight through into the heart.
Sneak attack.
And I'm gonna have to refresh because my thing kind of crashed. But tell me who's up after that.
After that is
It's a bone
that
size
one,
silver
and
sliver.
then it's the gem hide.
If it's still alive after
And
the
then
sneak
just after
attack
that.
damage.
Then it's the ruby nugget. Then it's
Okay, the ruby
Zybits.
nugget flies down to Lokshun and enchants your weapon with fire damage.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, this might help.
then it's Zybits, then it's Steel, then it's Labellin,
Okay, a lot of NPCs to get through.
and then it's
Okay.
Lokshun.
Lokshun. So this battle is when you start to kill them, you're starting to notice their abilities waning and vanishing. It feels as though the tide is turning vastly in your favor with each kill. They've lost their regeneration, their flying, and so forth. So this
Just
battle won't
killing
last
those
much
ones
longer.
in the other room was useful.
Yes.
These are literally like magic cards where you put having cards down that give the rest of the allies trample and giving the rest of the allies
That's
fly.
exactly
Because they
what
are
slivers do.
because they are based on Magic the Gathering cards.
What is it?
Correct.
Undeath or whatever the other one is that stops them from dying.
Yeah, that was regeneration. Okay, right, back to me. Yeah.
So
Alright,
that
bone
one
side.
aids the sneak attack damage.
Yeah, sneak attack.
Okay.
And
alright.
hopefully that kills it before it gets a turn.
No, it's gonna bloody it for sure though. You see, it's still resistant to all these piercing and slashing damage.
Which I bet
but
is
that
what
shouldn't
the
be-
stone one is. No, the stone one's the might. I bet it's the gem hide. It's gonna be the
It
gem
is the gem
hide.
hide. Yeah,
It's this
the one that's giving them like crystalline organs, and that one's really low. It needs finishing off. Okay,
What?
so-
This one's low.
gem hide.
Barely
Maybe.
took any
Something
damage.
Oh no. Okay then.
I don't remember us attacking that one.
No, you're right.
It's attacked
Hold on.
us.
No, you're right. It hasn't. Okay. Anyway, Kesh'an, it's going to try and finish you off with a stabby stab of its bladed arms.
Disadvantage?
Yeah. Okay. So flat. Go.
Sure.
Oh.
I'm a parry that.
Okay. parry it, clang, clang, the weapons
Parry
slicing
versus parry.
and ricocheting off each other. The second one comes up for an uppercut.
Oh,
God!
That'll do it.
Slice. Your body rises up in the air 5 feet before like crashing back down onto the ground with a big spray of blood that is hard to see against the ruby crystals. But yeah, either
Oh
way,
God, we're going
just
down.
down.
Yelling timber.
Okay, that's its full action. Back to the Gemhide Sliver, who's catching up to Andi, I'm gonna say. Yes, they're bloodied. Gonna get some swings. Ooh, stabs through Andi from behind. Like, the slivers send their regards. Andy's still concentrating on
Great
In-
Invis.
invisibility. Yeah,
In
Ruben.
technicality, due to what Great Invis actually does, would it not flatten it out? Because technically, using greater invisibility gives you advantage.
I know it does. It's a
Blind
stupid
sight,
rule.
blind sight, negating that, wouldn't that just cancel out for a flat roll?
I know what Greater Invis does. Rules as written, it doesn't care whether you can see it or not. Apparently, you still have advantage on
Yeah,
attacks.
it's weird.
I'm-
It's like if you have see invisibility, you can see them, but you still have disadvantage.
Yeah.
It's like what?
It's just stupid.
But I'm afraid I ignore that rule because it doesn't make sense. Okay,
I
unfortunately,
agree. With you.
still also gets a little stabby stab. Come on. Yep. Gets the snip. No stab. Okay. And then back to Llewellyn, who's unconscious and he's death saving throw.
Oh God, we don't want to lose another one here.
No, you do not.
Nice, so
Ooh.
close.
Wait, you crit on 19s? No, joking. You stay unconscious. Like,
Don't
soon
blame
you're
me,
up.
Chris.
That was mean. Go
That
ahead.
was
You got
very
a
mean.
flaming glaive now.
Finish this one off if you can.
I was thinking that, but I'm also thinking that we're in a bit of a crap place right now.
But does Lokshun have healing?
Nope.
Ah, yeah, one sec. I need to put myself up by 10 HP. I have healing on myself.
Yeah, yeah. Likely. Sorry.
I mean, if you kill this one, the rest are going to be easy to kill because they can't parry.
I know. How big is this one?
It's a huge creature.
It's a huge creature, and I'm 10 foot up. So if I go, well, can I cut? Can I using a ranged attack over everyone's heads?
You can, but you'll be at disadvantage because you're still in melee. Oh no, you're not. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna use kind of cold on both.
Oh,
What about Raheem? Oh no, because of the height.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
Oh,
why I was asking.
you're just like aiming it at the neck and just
That's
blasting them with ice.
smart.
Yeah. So basically, he spins his glaive like rotation, and it just gathers all the moisture in the room, and then he just thrusts it forwards.
Go ahead
Damn,
and,
thinking in 3 dimensions there.
Go
Yeah,
ahead and place that template down for me, and should roll their saves.
yeah.
I'm just moving the bodies of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh no,
sorry.
there you go.
Oh,
Turn it around.
Yeah, that'll get on both.
Go for it.
Unless can I? No, it's too far.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Is
So is
it
it con? Yeah.
gonna do the damage?
Oh, it all just automated suddenly. Okay, so I got 12 with the first
master
lever and a 20
fails
with the
and
bone side.
blade
Nice.
Both taking so 30 and 15. Oh, that's a lot of damage and not resisted, most importantly. So they're just blasting their heads to freezing cold temperatures, and it almost turns them to a block around their skulls. They are both still alive, but looking really rough after that.
He's at the top of the
Okay.
initiative.
Anything? We go back to the top. Crystalline Sliver is still alive, and can't go back this way because there's a big cloud of daggers. So it's going to scuttle around here, aim towards. There's a lot of targets. Oh, yeah, let's go for Yagmug here. Okay, it just fires off two little claws.
I've used my reaction, didn't I, when it ran away? So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, some of those hit.
yep.
Yuckas.
After that, it begins to run away in this direction, only about 20 feet. That's it. That's its go. Andy's up. There. Yeah, behind. And they got a nasty thing behind them, but they have line of sight of this crystalline sliver. Now, they were trying to keep cloud of daggers on them, right? Here's my suggestion. Another cloud of daggers. Right on their face. Oh, so close. So close. So when it comes around to its turn, it will take that damage, but you can already see it shredding to pieces, clawing its way out of the pit. It's trying to get away. It might only need a single whack to the head. After that, and it wouldn't stick near this thing. It can bonus action disengage and get away. That's your turn, Yukmug.
Yes, I can get into range.
Or you could stop the thing from killing Andi.
But this is the target. If we get this, we can potentially run. And it's running, seemingly. So I want to stop it before it gets away. I'm not going to be able to bring that thing down in one round.
Right. No.
Actually, you know what? Before I move...
Yeah.
I'll launch off the 2 meteors first at this one.
Okay.
Because that might be enough.
Yeah. Okay, roll the damage.
That's damage 1, that's damage 2.
Oh, fail.
Failed the second one.
It failed the second, so what?
Which was the 10 damage, so it succeeded
Oh,
on the
that's
7
enough.
damage.
That is enough. How do you want to finish it with your meteors?
So because it's in range this time, I like to think basically just brings one down, bashes it down, and the other just brings it down and it just explodes.
Oh, the cracking crystalline sound as it's almost like glass shattering, and it spews across the ground, bouncing it off of the other walls. And as that happens, you see all the other slivers in here suddenly convulse and sort of what's the word? Flinch. I'm gonna roll con saves for them real quick. That's not good. That's a fail. I'm gonna roll for this one as well. That's a save. Gem hide. It makes sense. It's covered in gems. And finally, the bone scythe sliver. Also a pass. So the big one, the huge one that's just been blasted with ice, it seems almost like it's from the head where it's kind of frozen. It almost looks like the ice begins to spread down its neck, over its mandibles, all of its legs suddenly freeze up in place. And its entire flesh turns to an icy shell.
Okay, then that gives me the chance to do this. Oh, I didn't mean to still hit the crystalline, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Get out of my way up the dice so I can deselect, and then swing my second attack.
That's a hit as well.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Right.
that is me.
Kesh'an, you're unconscious. Roll me a death save.
Roger. 15.
You're okay. Raheem, don't worry, Kesh'an. I'll finish what you started. And he brings around the rapier, tries to cut him around the throat. Ah, damn it! Pulls out the dagger, tries to stab him in the gut.
Nice.
That's gonna do it. Guts him, pulls the dagger like through him. Oh wait, can I parry this? Technically I can. That would make this one's so frustrating. It manages to, as it's about to be stabbed, bring around the blade.
I want
and,
to say blanking. It would be
flanking
a
makes
20.
it a 20.
Wouldn't that be enough?
Oh, that is enough. You're right. Yeah. The blade, as it's bringing it round to parry, snaps and shatters, almost like it's weakened from the queen dying, and it's stabbed in the gut. Its eyes roll back in its head, and it falls to its knees, and it just slumps there, not falling over fully. That is more than enough. Trust me. The sneak attack will finish that off. All right.
Ones just to annoy me.
There's only one left, and honestly, probably not going to stick around. But
Yep. Yuckmug's just sort of swinging his thing, just sort of daring it to try.
Swinging his thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
his
no, we-
meteor hammer.
Oh no, there's
swinging
there's
his
two,
knee.
there's two left to kill. There's another one over here.
It's not
No,
an enemy.
no,
That
that's-
enchanted your weapon, you dick.
I'm going to say with that, combat is finished. The gemhide sliver begins to scuttle into the ground, and where it digs up, you see these rubies sort of spew out like a bit of a magma geyser, and it just bores into that and
Did
and
it disengage?
drills away. Well, no, but if you want to split it upside the head, you
But
can.
session end.
Okay, you get a good whack in for good measure. This gemhide sliver, probably the most frustrating one of the lot, because it gives them resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and
Yeah,
slashing
I thought it was
damage.
that one.
And yeah, all the while it was just making basically its health pools like double. The cone of cold though went straight through all of that. That was a devastating hit, and so did the fireball. But
Yeah.
finally, these slivers are pretty much vanquished. With the queen slain, their hive mind goes into disarray, and their chittering panic fires into the ground and just drills into it.
Hey,
And that is going to end combat.
little ruby thing, can you heal people?
Yes, there's positive energy in all these crystals.
Then can
Oh.
you bring our friends
Look.
back up?
Look, Shun will grab Kesh'an and just chuck him into the ruby.
Could you run me a D100, Kesh'an?
Yeah, of course.
See what this power
Can't
level.
wait to blow up and have my character die.
He doesn't do it like he cares. He
It's
literally
too-
just
That's all right.
okay.
Okay.
just slumps your body into it.
That's a sort of medium potency. Where's my table? I made one for this. D100 table. It's gonna be like 2d10, I think. Yes. Roll 2d10, and that's how much you heal.
18.
Nice roll.
Yeah, the ruby crystal, even though it looks kind of slightly deadly with the fiery nature to it, the positive energy doesn't burn you at all. It simply fills your body with holy energy that knits your wounds together, and it does bring you back to life. You want me to nuzzle the other one?
Yes,
You-
that
only
please.
Kesh'an can hear you. Only Kesh'an understands it. But yes, I will do that.
Yes, please.
Okay. You see it kind of like put a paw on their head, like rubs their nose against it. Their nose is a little tiny diamond-shaped ruby, and I'm gonna roll a D100 for Llewellyn here. You only heal 1d10. No, 2d10 as well. There you go. You're back up on 15. Oh, and therefore no one is at risk of death anymore.
That's good. What is it like? 1d10 for 1 to 20, and then 2d10 for 2 to 40, or something like that.
It's a bit different to
four.
that because when Yuckmug got really low on one, he barely got anything.
Yeah,
So
he
I
got
managed to
1.
roll a 1.
Yeah. If you roll like above 75, it's 8d10.
Anyway,
And if you roll 100, you die.
It's probably, or at least a full heal. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be a lot. You probably would overflow.
Yeah.
that was fun.
Okay, so I think we'll wrap it up here. Combat is done and dusted. if you were to come back into the other room, you would see that yes, Vishtar has indeed finished off the other slivers, crushed the one with the stony hide, and as he does that, all of the slivers begin to shrink back down into regular size.
So he was
So-
the one who gave them the power boost.
Can
Large.
can we just also like assume, and I'm sure Steph will agree that Andy is probably gonna try and pocket all those rubies that came flooding out of that hole.
We will loot the room next session because there are things in here.
Yeah.
So
So
things
yeah,
here. Okay.
the
I thought-
giant ruby is a treasure in of itself.
Oh, okay. I thought this was literally just like, right, we've done it. We're probably gonna head back.
You might want to if you don't want to spend too much time, because it's about time I do make everyone roll. But anyway, we'll get on to that next session because we've gone over. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. We'll sign off here, and I think next session probably will be a wrap for the final session of the arc. I have not got any more prepped after this. This last session is next Friday, so
You said
Okay.
4 times, 4 weeks in a row.
Yep.
and then there'll be 5 episodes of epilogues, so that'll be fun as well. No, I'm joking.
Just one.
We'll see what happens.
Just
Alright.
one.
All right.
Alright. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye bye.